gather in the Vatican for the conclave beginning May 7th.
Widespread speculation surrounds the potential candidates for the papacy.
Tensions between India and Pakistan are reportedly escalating following a recent deadly attack in the disputed Kashmir region.
Officials in both nuclear-armed nations have hinted at the possibility of imminent military responses. The United Nations Secretary-General has voiced deep concern regarding the heightened friction between the two countries.
The United States economy saw a slight contraction during the first quarter of 2025, according to preliminary data released by the Commerce Department.
This figure was weaker than many economists had predicted.
The U.S. Supreme Court heard arguments concerning a potential precedent-setting case involving public funding for a religious charter school in Oklahoma.
Justices probed lawyers on the constitutional separation of church and state.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Guest, your host. It is damn coffee host. Hosting your cup. That's damn good coffee. It's hot.
Damn good coffee and hot.
No forgetting things. Hit the button.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
I hit another.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
I don't know. What do you mean? What do you mean? Of course we can talk about Steven and playing based on the. Why not? We can talk about the fact that he's a pedophile, but we can't say he's a bass player or wants to be a bass player. No, most players are not pedophile jokes. Good morning, folks. I'm just responding to a private.
Wake up, America.
Stop that. Wake up, America. I actually had to walk a dog today. Steven gets upset when I call him a pedo. Listen, I was thinking about how that even started. I don't remember why I started calling Steven a pedo. Anyway, good morning. We'll figure it out. I mean, I probably caught him diddling a kid. I mean, what else could it be? Anyway, it'll come to me, or it'll come on a kid. Steven will come on a kid. Anyway, good morning. It's Thursday. And I did have a dog to walk this morning. My stepdaughter left her dog laying on my bed and texted me, "Can you walk the dog?" Yeah, of course. I'm not even there. So, yeah, I had to get up and walk a dog. Fired from the Lutheran school is what Steven says. He's telling me why I'm calling him a pedo. I guess that's better than finding him behind a dumpster with a 10-year-old. But it's all a joke. Steven's not a pedo. I would not hang out with a pedo. And not like I hang out with Steven all the time. But I would not allow a pedo on this show. At least more than once. I mean, once we found out, he would be gone. And then we'd keep eyes on him. We'd call sex offender registry. Obviously, it's a joke. It's a fucking joke. Not a good joke. It's not a funny joke. It's kind of an offensive joke. The best we could do on short notice. Today, we have a hypnotist, talent agent, psychologist on in the second hour. And the first hour, we got nothing to do but call each other pedos. And maybe give each other pedicures. I don't know about that. Come on. It's not for me. Fucking what? But so we got no show for you today, really. We're going to have a guy talk about how to hypnotize you out of your imposter syndrome or stage fright. Or me, actually. Not you, but me. Because I have terrible, debilitating stage fright. And I think I suck. And I'm right. I don't just think I suck. I know I suck. So anyway, I'm going to play. I still don't. I'm waiting on Corel to deliver me commercials they're making for me. They're slower than me. I could have made my own damn commercial in all this time. But in the meantime, I'm going to play your mind bloom and hope you blow your mind. I mean, get bloomed in your mind, whatever. And then we'll say hello to GD and the pedo. Topo Gigio. No, Geppetto. GD the pet. Whatever.
Mind Bloom is helping people achieve life-changing clinical and personal breakthroughs, alchemizing both the psychedelic medication, psychiatric care from psychiatric clinicians, coaches we call psychedelic guides, and a lot of content and meditations and programs into this really transformational experience that, because it's delivered at home, costs a lot less and is a lot more convenient for people to receive.
Isn't finished. It needs finishing. I don't know what that means. Good morning, folks. In the room with me now are Stephen. Don't call me a pedo. I have no last name. And GD, who doesn't complain when I say BLM and watermelon on his fucking hand, like little pedo boy complains. So, good morning, GD.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. Are you suffering from imposter syndrome? Well, snap out of it. MindDogTV.com. Enjoy the suffering and support your local mercenaries. Just stop it. Stop suffering from imposter syndrome. Stop it. You don't need it.
But I'm not really me.
Stop it. Just stop it.
I'm not me. I'm not me. I can show you my ID, and my ID says not me.
Stop it. That's the cure.
All right.
That's the cure. That's the cure. That is also the pet. That is the cure. That is the pedicure. Also, stop it. Just stop it. If you're a pedo, you need a pedo cure. Stop it.
There's a cure for pedos.
Yes.
What is the cure?
Stop
MMR vaccine?
9mm to the face.
Oh.
It's an awfully small penis. Will it make a difference?
Well, that
was good. That was good. That was pretty good.
Except
we're American. We don't measure things in metric.
That's why. They're Canadian, right? No. Okay. That's why I'm the professional comedian, and you're the aspiring actor.
You're the professional humorist.
A pedophile comedian.
Yeah, I'm the professional humorist. Thank you. I forget because I have imposter syndrome. I think I'm a comedian when I'm a humorist.
For those of you who are lost your scorecard and are not keeping score, yesterday we did the fisting over Trump's nonsense about the tattoos with the MS-13 gang, and there was a screen capture, and I put on the fists, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Tony the Tiger, and Vin Diesel to have.
Did not see that.
I didn't see Vin Diesel.
I couldn't think of V. The only other V I could think of was vagina, and like that would be hard to fit on a knuckle in a way that would be.
Could have put like a cat.
Cat is a V.
No, but I mean pussy, cat.
It had to come out to V.
Oh,
I'm not gonna put a 5, right? Dope. Could have put a 5. A 5 is a V in Roman numerals. Anyway.
So now I want to see. Do you have that image? Because I'd like to see it. I have no idea.
I think I do. Hold on. Present image file. Image file.
I really hope you do.
File. Where's my image file? It says gang.
Steven wants to take a picture of it and download it and send it.
No.
Now, if you see, GD didn't complain when I had on his right hand or left hand.
I would be more than happy to have BLM on my hand.
BLM and a watermelon.
I didn't notice Vin Diesel though.
I
a little bit of family.
But what? I thought you liked pedo better. I couldn't fit joke thief on that hand. Although I could probably fit the Declaration of Independence on that hand. Yeah, War and Peace. I could put War and Peace on that hand.
I got big hands, man. What can I say?
I don't know what you could say.
Whatever you said, don't say it with your fingers. It'll be like shouting.
I know. I can't use sign language because people accuse me of yelling.
Yeah. Stop it! It's too loud.
What's wrong with him? He hurt his hands.
So today is a big holiday. You guys celebrate?
Oh, Labor Day.
No.
Is that today?
That's not today.
Yeah, May Day. Doesn't that celebrate labor in Russia?
No, it celebrates the Soviet victory over the Nazis, the end of World War II. This is a good time to end years. Yesterday was Vietnam. Today, for the Russians, for the Soviets anyway, it's Victory in Europe Day. I think our Victory in Europe Day was a different day. But yeah, the Communist Labor Party took over the holiday and made it a Soviet communist holiday, but it was originally to celebrate the end of World War II for the Soviets when they found out Hitler was dead in the bunker yesterday. Now this is the weird, Hitler got married and like 12 hours later he blew his brains out, which you could understand a little bit. Yeah. Most guys after they get married, within 12 hours they want to blow their brains out.
Let alone get married and then have the entire world after you.
The question is, what did she say that triggered him? Like, because, I mean,
big one's hurt.
Huh?
No, that's not it.
Yours is perfect.
I think what she said to him was, now, of course, she said it in German. And it doesn't translate well in English, but she said it in German.
What does this have to do with translate? Wait a minute.
Oh, my nose.
Wow. No, because she's Jewish?
No, my nose is itching.
Wow.
No, she's German. And so it translates rough in English. But what she actually said, and I got this actually from a documentary. She goes, Adolf Bubala, this is forever.
Well, yeah. I would blow my brains out too.
Yeah, that's game over. Yep.
Yeah. And that's when, and so yeah, and then I think and then the footnote, because there's a translation which doesn't it doesn't translate to English very well, but roughly she says, "I'm the tyrant now," or "I'm the dictator now." I'm not sure which.
I like to imagine they got married. She finally moved in, saw his shitty paintings on the wall, and goes, "What do you think if we replace these?" And he was like, "Done."
Let's be clear what you mean by moved in to a bunker, underground bunker, where they were coming to get you. It's not exactly what she was looking forward to moving into. I think that that would make any woman a bitch. Like,
well, as soon as they closed the door to the bunker, and it was just them two. It was like, oh,
that sounds romantic. That doesn't sound bad.
Yeah.
And then she starts asking questions like, what are we going to do for food in 3 months? What how are we going to raise the babies in here?
Do you still love me?
How are we going to raise the kids? Where are they going to go to school?
Do you like my hair?
Yeah, I'm feeling like I might
want to both of those.
I can't make that joke because Steven says I will get demonetized. He was right about the other day. I got demonetized because of the gun pick. It was a fucking plastic gun, you dopey dope.
Yeah, it doesn't, unless it looks like unless you can tell without a shadow of a doubt it's a toy. Like if it's not green and blue, they won't count it as fake.
Yeah, that's why the toy gun I use on the screen is actually a Nerf gun, and it says Nerf gun on the side. Well, I wrote Nerf gun on it. Actually, it's a 9mm, and I wrote Nerf gun on it.
That would be good.
And a matter of fact, I wrote Nerf on the bullets as well. The bullets all say spongy. So if you get shot, they should just bounce off because I wrote Nerf spongy on them.
Did you put slappity on the shotgun?
No, that's I
have to use a really small font.
You mean like James Fonda? No,
like State Farm.
Oh. Now I put slappity. I should put that on the front end of my bumper on my car. Slappity. So if I just to get people move out my way, of course they'll probably stop because I have a lot of pedestrians in this where I live. A lot of pedestrians, a lot of people on electric scooters who like drive the streets.
Run them over.
Yeah, but if I put slappy on the front, I'm thinking they'll move out the way, but they may just stop and turn to read it and go slappity slap.
So
they get through that second word, just game over.
Speaking of drunk drivers, there's a story today in my local news about, and it's a tragic story. Kids got killed by a drunk driver, but the father is suing the driver, the car manufacturer, the bar that he was at, the liquor company that made the liquor, people who came up with it. He's suing everybody who was ever anywhere down the line. I think he's suing 50 people in all. Like,
first of all, somebody's an overachiever.
Somebody took it personal.
Yeah.
Well, of course they take it personal. I think he had 2 kids die in the crash. But
does he have any left?
I don't know. I didn't. That's a good question.
It makes a difference if those are his only 2 kids. If they're like 2 or 14, it makes a difference to me if he's overreacting.
They were teenagers.
But teenagers, game over, because at that point you know what they're going to be like as adults.
Right.
You know what you're missing out on.
Yeah, you know what they're going to be as adults. So you know if they're going to be like.
You go after the guy who got drunk and got in the car. You don't have to go all the way. Now, of course, the bartender should have stopped serving them at some point or taken away the keys or whatever. But how many times does that not happen?
I mean, I would have to.
Okay, we don't know all of the facts though, because let's say the bartender did stop serving him, and he's sitting at the table.
Stephen, let's say that. Wait, we have to say that the bartender did stop serving that. Okay, now continue.
Steve didn't say it also.
Well, because I'm not sure. I'm not sure the responsibility goes to the bartender.
You fucking joke thief.
I will not, you geriatric fuck.
Okay.
That's a weak,
here we go.
Insult. Come on, you can do better than that.
All right,
you fucking guap.
Bald-headed testicle cancer driving.
You ass cancer ridden fucking dick.
That's
right. You're really reaching, and you're not. And
I know I'm not good at being mean, man.
And you're not good at reaching either. You don't have that height.
I have a claw. I have a claw in the kitchen.
Reach.
So let's say that the bartender did stop serving him, but he has friends in the bar. Yeah, the bartender, he has the drunk has friends in the bar, and they keep buying him rounds.
That was going to be
where you're going.
So the bartender is saying, "Here, so Bill, I cut Bill off, and so Bill's friends go to the other bartender, or the self-serve beer thing, because they have that in bars, right? Self-serve beer.
No, that's not a thing.
Like you get a mug. Not be named Bill. Like you buy a mug and you can refill. Like you get a mug for $1 and you refill it all night long. Yeah. Well, I haven't been in that bar, so this is all hypothetical.
Yeah, but no, Bill, it wouldn't be Bill though. Friends of Bill are the AA people, so they would not be giving Bill the drink. Friends of Bill is AA, so it wouldn't be Bill. It would be Bob or Steven. Probably Steven. Steven's like a good.
Somebody with friends.
I think it'd be a Carl.
It's somebody with friends who keep plowing him with liquor, even though the bartender has shut him off. So we don't know all the facts, and the guy who's doing all the suing doesn't have all the facts either. Otherwise, he would focus in on who's actually to blame. Right now, it's like a shotgun effect. I just want to see who comes to the table. He's doing a Trump thing. He's got this tariff out there on everybody, and he wants to see who's going to come to the table and negotiate. And China, the alcohol manufacturer, China is saying, "Fuck off! I'll tariff you back. I got bigger tariffs. I got big tariffs. Look at these. You don't see a tariff? Look at this. That's a big tariff right there. Ooh. I got your tariff right here.
God, I love when you whip out your tariffs.
Huh?
You know what just started trending on Twitter?
Whip out your tariff.
My tariff.
Spicco.
Oh, okay. Somebody stole my Groucho Marx character. And there's a Hispanic guy. Because I did Charcoal Marx and Darko Marx. And there's this Mexican kid. Yeah, so there's this Mexican kid who's now trying to get in on my game, and he created Spicco Marx because he wants to be the Latino illegitimate son of Groucho. and I'm going to sue him because he stole my bit, a bit that I created when I was 6 years old, 5 or 6 years old. Okay. Darko I created when I was 5 or 6. Charcoal I created when I was in my 20s. But still, he's still in my
Apparently,
character.
it's a Bitcoin.
Yeah, a bit. I said it's a bit. Didn't I say? I just said it's a bit.
Coin.
It's a bit.
Spico is here at 5 million out of the gate. It's a new crypto coin. I don't know. I don't like the name.
That's it. Okay, guys, we have to start a crypto coin and start scamming people.
Right. How do you do it? I'll jump in a
I think we call it Crippy Coin.
You should know. You little,
yeah, we'll spell it CRIP.
You little Gen Next, whatever you are.
I'm a millennial.
Yeah, but you should know. I mean, come on. Your generation should know about how to do this. Clue us.
I don't know the first thing about starting a cryptocurrency. I have no fucking clue, dude.
But you're a crip. I thought that'd be like
cryptocurrency.
Yeah, it's right in
I thought it was crypto.
No, it's crypto. I know it's a little backwards. I know.
I thought that was like right in your wheelhouse. I did.
Oh, I see what you did there. Oh, look at you, Twinkle Toes, dancing around all the good stuff.
All right, rolling along, like Steven does.
Now, if I was really trying to be funny, I'd have said in your wheelchair, but I was.
Yeah. How many junkies do you think we got in America? Hardcore.
How many junkies?
Junkies.
Hardcore. Oh, junkies like DR or junkies with a J?
Oh, like
shooting up junkies.
Shooting up. I'd probably say
2%. I would say 2% of the GDP.
Probably a few million.
Okay, a few million. Like
probably 2-3 million.
5-10.
Maybe, yeah.
It also depends on how you're qualifying them. Are they functional, like they shoot up and go to work, or are they just strung out on the corner? You know, they shoot up and they pass out and they're no good.
Here's how I kind of qualify them. If they were likely to overdose on fentanyl and die.
Oh, Republicans.
Because Pam Bondi, you know Pam Bondi, the little Ava Braun, our current Ava Braun, she said that in the first 100 days, Donald Trump has saved 258 million lives by seizing fentanyl at the border. We have 340 million Americans.
That's like 78%.
76%.
Oh my God.
Of Americans would have.
But we'll never know because they didn't die.
Right. He saved their lives from overdosing in 100 days.
She probably saved my life from overdosing. I probably one of that 76%.
Keep in mind that 34% of the population is either under 15 or over 65. That you got a lot of children and geriatric fucks in that 76.
I'm so glad he stopped the fentanyl from getting to the preschools and the retirement homes.
Yeah, Jesus.
Can we put it in the Diet Coke and send it to the White House? Is my question.
Right. Here's the most fucked up thing about it. Fox News ran that story and didn't even they put it like it was true, and don't even bother fact checking, but then putting it out not just on their network but on all their social medias in big bold letters, and nobody fucking questioned it. I literally think I'm the only one who said, "Wait a minute, that number seems a little high." Maybe she seems a little high. But I mean, we are at the point where Kim Jong-un, young Budung over there in North Korea, he's jealous.
Yeah,
Kim Jong Budung. He's just jealous of the kind of I don't know cult that Trump has got going there, with everybody.
He hates us because he ain't us.
Yeah, because Kim Jong had to kill relatives to get that kind of loyalty.
I think that's his father who hated us because he ain't us, right? That was his father who hated us because he ain't us.
I think they both hate us because they ain't us.
Kim Jong is just because he had to kill relatives to get where he is, and Trump has got the same influence without killing relatives.
What about Kim Wilde? How about her, huh?
I didn't know she was related. I thought she was just a singer.
We're the kids in America. That she had one song in it. She's not even from America, and we're the kids in America, right?
Where is she from?
Canada, I think, or maybe.
Wow. Let me look that up.
The Yukon or I don't know where she's from.
Let me
She could
look
be
that
from
up.
The United States of Canada.
Fort Wayne, Indiana, I think she's from.
Oh yeah, that's not even. It says Cambodia. That's not right. Okay, where is she
could
from?
Be. Could be right.
No,
Cambodia, Indiana. No.
Okay.
Stephen, why do you stay in Indiana? I mean, now that you are no longer obligated to stay or obliged to stay in Indiana, why don't you just go to some place where they have normal people?
Well, I have no vehicle at the moment and
Oh,
very little money. So no, I don't plan on staying here forever. So
where would you go?
I don't know yet.
You don't.
I would like to go somewhere where comedy would be more feasible.
Can I
for
tell
sure.
you where to go? Can I tell you where to go?
Move in with you?
No.
Oh, she was born in London.
See, that's what I meant. You Canadian.
London.
Yeah, London. November 18th.
And I'm not.
Wow. She was November 18th, 1960. She is one day. She is
and a year. One day short of a year.
Yeah, one day short of a year of being younger than me. No, I mean, well, she's still younger than me, but one day short of a year younger than me.
Yeah. You could have had a birthday party at her mother's vagina.
But she was in London when she was born, so technically we could have both been born on the 19th here, right?
Well, right.
Right?
Well, depends on what time of day. Depends on what time of day.
No, it would have been because that's right. That's not right. If she was born on the 20th, she could have been born on the 19th here.
I'm trying to tell Stephen where he should go. I'm not where he should go, but where if I would go if I were newly single or back in the game. I would go to Alamorada. Have you been to Alamorada?
I don't know what that means.
It sounds like a place you made up. Like it's right next to. Like you take a left at Narnia.
It sounds like you were looking for a Chili's and you found a Mexican restaurant.
It does sound like a place I made up, but it's really heaven. It's the biblical heaven, Alamorada. It's in Florida. It's in the Keys. It's 80 miles from Key West.
Now you sound like you're making stuff up straight out of the Book of Mormon.
Yeah, maybe. Moron. Book of Moron.
Book of Moron. Page 4. 80
miles from Key West, and it's one of these keys that everybody just drives through. They don't even pay attention. But the ocean is over there, and the Gulf is over there, and it's like you could spit and hit both of them.
Which Gulf? Is it the Gulf of America or the Gulf of Mexico? Because
Gulf of Brazil.
Oh wow. They have pretty waters. They have really
the Gulf of Alamorada. But the water is so warm. Even in the winter, you can go there and you could soak your hemorrhoids in that warm Gulf water, and the manatees will come up and lick your feet. It's just amazing.
Are you sure they're manatees and not mermaids? Because
I think they might have been alligators. I think they might have been alligators, and they weren't licking. They were.
That sounds like a nice place to retire. Like that sounds like a place to go fish and die.
It's amazing if you got enough weed and you don't have to leave, and you can just sit on the beach and just go hammock to Gulf to go. You can go actually just get some. Go swim fishing and just bring it back and barbecue it up and just get drunk and go back on the beach, and you never have to leave that fucking beach. It's just perfect, except when the hurricanes come. Then it's not so perfect.
No,
but other than that,
at some point, I think the manatees are going to get angry and they're going to become like armed and just start coming for us because they have been nothing but good to us, and we have been chopping them up with our boats and just mean to them and their environment.
Pirates were fucking them like mermaids.
Yeah, it's
disrespectful.
It is. Speaking of bass players, now.
Hold on. What?
Yeah, speaking of bass players, so Stephen, I think when you text me and asked me about buying a bass, and I have been so far removed from actually having bought a musical instrument because I haven't bought a musical instrument in like probably decades, and I forgot, and I forgot the protocol. I think you need to hold it and fall in love with it. So you know which one you want. That's what I think.
No. That's when you're ready for a real instrument. As a starter, you get the one that comes with the electronics. It comes with the kit, and it's cheap as fuck, and it's not even American made, but it's a good bass. And the Donner stuff, you can't go wrong. They're copies of good basses, but you can learn all the tech. The one I sent you, the Donner that comes with the little fucking amp, because you cannot learn to play electric bass without hearing it. Because it's like
dink, dink.
You got to have a little shitty amp. So for $90, you get a bass that you could slap, you could finger pluck, you can even do a little bit of the tapping and regular play and play with a pick, and get all those sounds that you need to get out of it. Learn to play for 2 years, and then you follow GD's instructions and go hold one and fall in love with it. That's
because
that makes sense.
Yeah, because when I bought my bass, I've been playing for a while. I've been playing guitar for a while, and I've been playing other people's basses. And I didn't even plan on buying the bass. I was in the store looking for another guitar, and my bass called me by name. She said, "Hey, big guy." I went, "You talking to me?" She goes, "Yeah, you, big guy. You look like somebody who can handle something like this, something nice and creamy with no frets."
Are we talking about the guitar when you met Will?
I didn't know this about me, but buying a bass is very homoerotic.
we knew that about you.
Yeah, that we do.
Yeah,
Stanley Wright used to say, "Our bass is like a woman. Sometimes you have to slap it. Sometimes you got to stroke it.
Sometimes you got to tickle it."
I don't know. He didn't say any of that.
Did he say anything about bow technique?
I think he likes to slap women now that I'm thinking about it.
Did he say anything about bow technique? Because that's also very, very crucial when you're playing bass.
I don't recall. But so, Stephen, let me get
and rosin. You got to rosin them regularly.
Do you have so much pussy that you just want to stop getting pussy for the rest of your life? Is that why you want to play bass?
No.
Because the bass player doesn't get any pussy. Never.
That's not true. That's not true.
It's not for the pussy, but
it never does. The drummer will get pussy before the bass player gets pussy.
That's true.
But that's only because usually the drummers are the ones that are putting stuff in people's drinks. That's
I'm just getting a text message.
Don't talk about Tommy Lee like that. That's not nice.
Are you familiar with the song Rosie?
You talk about like the one from the 1930s?
No, I'm talking about the one from the 1970s. Rosie, you're all right. You hold my ring. When you turn out the light, you can do anything. When you hold me tight, you can make me sing. Looks like it's you and me again tonight, Rosie.
Is that the one about his hand?
It's about a drummer. Yeah, it's about his hand. It's about the drummer having to go back to his room and jerk off every night.
Yeah, I was going to say Rosie Palmer. Yeah.
Yeah, Rosie, you're all right. You wear my ring. So basically, the drummer watches everybody else get the girl from behind her. Not Mike Barone. I gotta say, Mike Barone does okay with the women, but he can't seem to keep them for more than like a week. But that's that's a.
I would think Neil Peart did okay, but I don't know. Maybe. But again, he was a real musician. He was also a poet.
Keith Moon did okay.
Did he know it?
You know what? Keith Moon was doing okay until he hooked up with the Exorcist chick, and then he fucking was dead like a week later.
Now, see Keith Moon.
What was that?
No, Keith Moon, when he played drums, he had a very unorthodox style of holding the drumsticks, and that is one thing I was never like a Who guy, but
Who guy?
Yeah, Who guy. I'm not a Who guy.
Who that?
Are there interviews of Keith Moon where they ask him why he held the drumsticks like that?
I don't know.
I think he talked about it in The Kids Are All Right. I don't remember. What's this? I'm getting text by it looks like Keith Moon.
Yeah, Keith Moon. Now, damn it.
From hell.
If I had known, what makes you think that's where he is? How do you know that in his last minute he goes, "Jesus is just all right with me," and then Doobie Brothers sued him, but it was okay. Just a little bit late, he got salvation anyway.
Because that is blasphemy already. Jesus is just all right. No, he's not just all right. He's fucking great. Not just all right.
How do you no, but it's comparatively speaking. Because I'm sure if you ask Jesus, Jesus didn't say, I'm great. He goes,
Jesus
I'm
is
all right.
just all right.
Yeah,
Just all
Jesus
right.
says that I'm all right. Yeah, I'm all right. And
How you
then
doing, How you doing, Jesus?
because when Jesus
All right.
prayed, Jesus, when he did the little supper at the prayer at the Last Supper, God is great, God is good. Let us thank Him for our food. That's the prayer
Never
they
heard
did
that
at
one
this.
before.
Yeah, that's the
I'm thinking it was
prayer.
probably they probably just sang it wrong. It was probably Jesus is just all right with me, and they probably.
Well, it depends on which country they're singing in. Because when they sing in Israel, they say Yeshua.
Hyundai. That's a wrong country, buddy.
I know. So, you know how I feel about hypnosis, right? Yeah. Here's my problem with this thing. The guy's got a PhD in psychology.
Yes.
Why do you go become a certified hypnotist? That's like, I don't know what it's like. It's like
maybe he was just tired.
It's like being Bruce Lee and thinking, I'm gonna go for karate lessons.
Do we know which came first? Because it's possible that he was working on his PhD. He needed money. He knew a little bit about showbiz. He goes, I'll do hypnotism and I'll, make a little money on the side, with parlor, going to comedy clubs. He could have had a thriving comedy career, which is why he also became like an agent. He's out there, he's doing like, you're a chicken. And they go like, roof. And he goes, damn it. Okay, you're a chicken. Damn it. And eventually he stopped going into show business and became an agent. I'm just saying, again, I'm just trying to represent.
Didn't say what came first. I'm thinking the chicken came first, but maybe the egg came first.
I'm willing to bet the rooster came first and left the chicken.
The rooster
like
got
his
killed
dad.
before he got a chance to come. I thought I established that earlier in the week. They whacked their cock.
They whacked his cock?
Yes.
Whacked him off?
Oh, really? They did? They killed they killed the rooster?
Yeah.
That's stupid. That is, I honestly, if they should have, we would have taken the rooster in. I'm speaking for my wife, and she actually would have said no, but we'd have taken it in.
Dee would have taken him in his dinner.
Yeah, if we had known they were just going to kill the rooster instead of trying to rehabilitate it so they wouldn't want sex all the time.
I think they were trying to give it away, but nobody wanted to take it. Because the fucking problem with roosters, they have this annoying habit of waking people up at the fucking crack of dawn. Like, who needs that shit? I mean,
that's a myth. They don't wake people up at the crack of dawn. They crow all the time.
Oh yeah, they do crow all the time.
Yeah, all the time. So it's not they're waking you up at the crack of dawn. They're waking you up at 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. and 2:39 a.m.
No. In the dark they don't do it. They wait until but as long as the light all day long, they will crow. But they start as soon as the sun comes up over the horizon.
Well, the farm that I was sleeping on, our rooster must have been blind and couldn't tell when the sun came up because he started. Honestly, I was sleeping.
Ray Charles rooster.
My first night sleeping there on this farm, they told me, they said, well, the rooster's going to start crowing in the morning. I went, okay, I was ready for that.
Yeah.
And so I thought stereotypical cock stuff that he was going to start crowing at sunrise. And the room where I was staying in didn't have any windows yet. So it was like pitch black in there. And at round
sure
2,
it was the rooster crowing and not the somebody in the next room. Just
so
hey, Cockle-Doo!
So I hear this crowing, in the middle of the night, and I'm thinking, is the sun up already? I went to bed, and I got up and I started feeling around, and I get outside and it's pitch black, and and the rooster is just crowing.
So you were invisible.
Are you sure maybe they didn't tell you what time the rooster crows so you knew what time to escape the farm?
When the rooster crows at the break of dawn,
you don't escape the
window
farm.
And I'll be gone.
You don't escape the farm. You're there. You're there for the duration of your lesson, and once your lesson is complete, then they let you go.
Grasshopper.
So I was there for a week.
On the rice paper without the rooster quacking his quack-a-wacka.
I was there for a week, I think.
I don't know why that's so funny.
I am having a stroke. It's Thursday. It's stroke day.
That was yesterday.
You know that's what happened to the Pope. The Pope died from a stroke, and I didn't even know he played.
No, he died from embarrassment because he came in and found J.D. Vance fucking his throne.
I hope you don't mind, people. This is a once in a lifetime chance.
I've always dreamed of this. My mom will never believe me.
I'm taking a selfie while I'm done.
Hey, Francis, hold this for me. Get a good angle.
Take this from the back. I'm gonna turn my MAGA hat around backwards so you know it's me. Which is why Steven's hat is around backwards. You can take a picture from the back, you know it's him.
Yeah, because you see this.
What was that? What did we say? What was that?
He couldn't afford an applaud sign, so he wrote "ha ha ha."
Yeah, I flip my hat around when people need to laugh.
Where's my friend Slaptail when I need him to abuse Steven?
He's busy.
He's charting. He's probably doing wussy nurse stuff.
Yeah. Today is the first day of May. I forgot to say that in the intro.
It's gonna be May.
No, you said it was the first. You did say it was May 1st.
I did?
Yeah, and because we talked about.
I love May. May's my favorite month.
You asked if we knew what May Day was, and I thought it was like some kind of celebration of labor or something. I knew it was a Russian holiday, but it's been so long since I've actually gotten drunk on that day. I just think of May 1st as a rehearsal to Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, Cinco de Mayo, yeah. Yeah. That's a made-up holiday too, right?
No, May 5th is real.
It's a real May 5th.
Yeah,
but I don't
it's
think
real.
It's not like Mexican. I forget what the reason they call it May Mexican Independence Day or something. But it's not that, right? Or am I wrong? What? No, look it up.
That's a real holiday. Matter of fact, but the made-up holiday is May the 4th. That's a made-up holiday.
May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, and also March 14th. That's a made-up holiday.
What is Cinco de Mayo is the annual celebration held on May 5th to celebrate Mexico's victory over the Second French Empire at the Battle of Pueblo in 1862, led by General Ignacio Zaragoza. All right, fine. Nobody knows that.
Well, I used to know it, but now to me it's just a good day to go out drinking with my Hispanic buddies.
You thought his name was General Hyundai.
No, I thought his name was General Mills. Oh. And he and Captain Crunch were invading, and
am I
the Mexicans held their post?
We're on Steven's Twitter today, by the way, but I don't know why I'm even bothering with.
Is it going to make our fan base difficult for us to find if they like switching from one Twitter to the other? You know, how will they know which Twitter to look for us on?
Did you hear that funny word he said, Steven? Did you hear that funny word he said? You didn't hear the funny word he said?
No, Steven answered, but we can't hear him. Not like yesterday when it was me.
He said fan base?
Fan base, yeah, that's fucking funny. Isn't that funny? Fan base.
Silly bitch.
Thank you. I'll be here all week. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Tip you wait staff.
As if the fan actually had a base. The fan is just floating in the air.
Hyundai.
They know where to find it because it says right over on the right side. Live now on Steven's Twitter. But that's fine. Whatever. We get them over there. We get them over there. But why am I bothering with Instagram? That's because Instagram, we get maybe one person a day over there. Why am I even bothering?
That's Daddy Punish Me.
Right. So.
I know that one. Chung Hua Fao. I learned that yesterday.
You're a little disturbingly excited by that.
It's because I learned it yesterday, and it's the only Chinese phrase I know. Baba Ching Fa Wa.
And
Ching Fa Wu.
Ching Fa Wu.
Ching Fa Wu. And you wonder why.
Baba Ching Fa Wu.
Daddy Punish Me.
And don't forget to do this part. Ching Fa Wu. Ching Fa Wu. Don't forget to do that. See, Stephen, I did that for you. 惩罚我. And just so you know, I wrote it says "Daddy punish me," so you know where to find it.
Does it? Yes. Hell yeah. Woo!
I had a. It's not funny. It's not funny to call somebody a pedophile. It's just not. We got to stop doing that.
Ching Fao.
Baba Ching Fao.
I had a
friend. T-shirt.
I say I had a friend.
Uh-huh.
That's all I want to know. I had a friend.
Oh,
I'm on the bet. I'm on the bet that half those people that got those they get these Chinese and Japanese sayings on their arm and they don't even know what they say. I'm on the bet one of them says "Papa." And
it's supposed to say.
He asked the guy, "What's that say?" It says, "I love my daddy. My father meant everything to me." He says, "I love my father." And he goes, "No."
About Ching Fao. Whoa. You must have really had a weird relationship with your dad, but okay.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
I feel like we've gotten to the hypnosis NLP part of the program a little early here. So I had a friend.
You know what trouble I went through to get that for you, Stephen? I went through a lot of trouble to make that for you.
Thank you, buddy. I'm really happy about it.
Yeah. I saw that in there and I thought Ron snuck into the back end in the middle of the night.
No, he thought of Ron and he was like,
Ron.
Yep. No, I didn't play it. I didn't know. I saw the name of it and I thought it was going to be dirty.
See,
but
that's the funny thing.
That in the middle of the night, like that. How'd that get here? And because I was here like 6 o'clock this morning, it was already like, what the fuck? Somebody's getting up in the middle of the night, coming in the studio and putting in weird sound bites.
Now that is the power of a reputation. Matter of fact, I got away with a lot of stuff like that in high school. I used to play practical jokes on people, but I would play practical jokes in the style of other people's reputation so that they would get blamed for it. So,
and then when he got in trouble, his dad would come and he'd be like, "Baba, Ching Fa Wu."
Steven, you keep interrupting me while I'm trying to make the case for not calling you a pedo anymore. And so
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just going to go off that now.
Fuck.
Okay.
All right.
Like you should get off the kids.
Yeah, exactly. Behind the dumpster. Why behind a dumpster? Because it smells like garbage? I don't know. Oh, no. The garbage gets them all.
Easy to hide a body. Nobody will smell it.
The smell brings back memories. It's a very powerful sense.
Yeah.
It brings back memories of
I had a friend whose birthday was today. He's no longer living. He's deceased. He's moved on. But today was his birthday.
Are there other ways you could also say that?
Her name was Ava Braun. No.
Now, was it self-induced or did they have help from like a disease or a vehicle?
He got cancer. He used to love to listen to the show, and he was a big fan.
That's what gave him cancer?
He never was in the chat room, very quiet on that end. But he was a very popular, at one point, he was extremely popular on Long Island as a singer for a local band that was established a long time ago, and they had great crowds going out to see him all the time. And then and on Facebook he had the maximum friends you could have, which was 5,000 friends, but he also had like 20,000 followers, personal followers. And he was just I want to say an influential and leader in the music business on Long Island. And then one day, about 10 years ago, Newsday article comes out and pedophile arrests on Long Island, and it's his picture right on the fucking cover. And what happened was, and I talked to him about this because I was like, I know him.
So they had the wrong picture. They got the right name, but the wrong picture.
Oh no! He was downloading. Somebody sent him a link for porn. People emailing porn site, and he didn't even download the thing. He just went to the page, and it was one of these father stepdaughter things. Well, porn links, and it turns out the girl was underage. And it was a sting operation. It was a cop who sent them the link. And just because he viewed it, Yeah, listen, I'm sure.
That's not right. Because how do you know what something? Okay, like you guys send me links all the time, and I am really reluctant to open them.
I don't open any of this shit.
Well,
Steven
none of us are gonna do child porn.
Well, you don't know
what I'm
that.
saying is, but you don't know that until you open it. You know, because there's some things that Ron sends to me that I think are worse than that.
Well, okay.
And you don't even know, even if you were if you were watching porn, you can't tell the difference between an 18-year-old girl and a 17-year-old girl.
I thought they had little marks on their back. Don't they have little markings on their back so you can tell?
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, that's the only reason why that's the only reason why to do it that way, so you can see the markings on their back. Isn't that supposed to be some kind of like a QR code on their back? So you can take your phone, and when you go like this, and it says, QR code.
Next to you? Well, if I may continue with this story, it's a story.
Like that QR code says I'm over 18, right there.
This is why I don't share that kind of things with other people, because you never know. That's what it's everything I share is either a reel or YouTube.
He went to court. Like he was arrested, and then they put his picture in the paper, and everybody was talking about everybody except me abandoned the guy. I mean, really, he went from having 5,000 friends to having one friend, one guy who stood behind him, and you know what? It's a heinous thing to be accused of, but in the end, I go back to what my father said. You know what? All sins are sins, and if you do something shitty, God doesn't care about where you broke the law. You broke the law.
That depends on your religion.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, some religions have a hard time.
Semantics. Let him finish the story.
The original sin is the original sin. It was just like a lie about or whatever. She sucked the devil's cock is what happened. But anyway, so he lost everybody. Nobody cared about it, and he was rebuilding his life. Then went to court. The court case got dismissed. The judge looked at the evidence and threw it. It was a sting operation. You sent the guy a link. He clicked on the link, and that's where you ruined his life over. And they threw that. But that didn't lead to any forgiveness. But it definitely took a toll on him, and I do believe the psychological effects of that are what finally brought him into a place where he just was willing disease upon himself because his life had gotten ruined. And we were playing, he showed up at a gig that I was playing, and I brought him up on stage, and he did very well. I mean, some people who could look past it enjoyed the performance, but so many, I can't believe that guy who's on stage with you, he's a pedophile. No, he's not a pedophile. He never was a pedophile. He would get more fucking adult pussy than he could handle. Why would he ever, but
same.
It's not funny. Let's stop calling Steven a pedophile. Let's call him a
child enthusiast.
That works. Uncle Al, the kitty's pal. Remember laughing, Uncle Al, the kitty's pal. Yeah, no,
fucking child enthusiast.
Wonderama. What was the guy from Wonderama? Uncle Buck? No, that's Buck Henry. Which I don't know. We got to come up with something else. It's not going to stain.
I think that's a B. I'm not sure. 53. Yeah. I'll write that down. 53.
Fine. So I'm just saying I feel bad that because some people might actually start to believe like, well, he's not a pedophile. It's joke.
Mostly just having to explain to people who find the show the first time, and they're like, why do they call you a pedophile? And I have to go through like, listen, about 7 months ago, this joke started. It just rolled.
And then BG's wrote a song about it. I started a joke that started the children laughing.
I'm like a pit bull. If you give me a bone, I'm gonna just gnaw that bone until it's gone, and this is my problem. I got to get over it. But
child enthusiast.
At least it's not a kitty bone like Steven would get behind a dumpster. So that's that. I don't know, because today's his birthday. I'm thinking about him because his girlfriend. He had a girlfriend. I know, her life since he's gone, it's just been a mess. But I do believe that these fucking detectives that set him up, and now you got to think, well, how do the detectives know who to set up? Like they're sending the Suffolk County Police Department is actually sending out fucking porn links to people just to see if they download it so they can come and raid your home.
That's the same reason I've never even considered a prostitute, because with my luck, the one time I went to,
you said you were never considered a prostitute.
I've never even considered buying the services of a prostitute.
I thought you meant like you performed the services, but nobody considered you one.
No. I got paid well doing that, but no, it was
you got paid. But did you consider yourself a prostitute?
I consider myself a prostitution enthusiast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Prostitution rest.
Yeah, but yeah, that's why I've never even considered picking up a hooker for any reason, because it's the main reason.
Not even give them a lift. I mean, you're going that way anyway. You might as well just sit them right there.
Well, no, because I just feel like with my luck, the one time I pick up a hooker, it's going to be a cop, or it's going to be a sting operation. Or if I go to a massage parlor and I end up getting a happy ending, it's going to end up being.
And not only that, but it's a male cop dressed as a woman.
Probably, man. That would be my luck so bad.
Wow.
And some cop pulling you over.
My Ava Braun would end up being an Andy Brown, and I'd end up just.
Good thing we're having a hypnotist on. I'm gonna need to be hypnotized so I don't have fucking nightmares over that fucking scenario.
Now, just so you know, I'm thinking about. I think I should start a podcast called "Bad Jokes Gone Wild," and it's basically just people who've been, people who want to recover or regain their reputations that were damaged by bad jokes.
Well, let me just tell you, the network. I don't know if you know this about the network. The network has an opening on Monday nights at 9 a.m. because some fucking loser.
Did you say 9 a.m.? Did you say Monday nights at 9 a.m.?
9 p.m.
He did say 9 a.m.
He was at 9 a.m. He's like, okay, we're doing it here, but it's in the morning in Japan.
He doesn't have dementia. He's a dementia enthusiast.
That's right. 9 p.m. because some fucking loser who starts shit he never finishes stopped shit that he started. So there's an opening there if you wanted to do that little Bad Jokes Gone Wild show.
I don't know how to. I mean, do I advertise and say people? Was your reputation harmed by a bad joke and you like to clear your name?
This kind of sounds like the Tosh.0 thing.
Where I thought he just showed up naked at work and made people watch him.
He did what's called the web redemption, where people would post like really dumb shit online that would ruin their reputation. He'd bring them on to fix it.
Oh, I didn't think they ruined their reputations. I thought, I don't know. I remember that now. Web redemption. I do remember that now, and I don't remember the point of it.
Why is Daniel Tosh not?
He has a podcast now.
That's sad.
Uncle Herb.
Yeah, that's sad. Unless I'm
Auntie Griselda.
I thought Daniel Tosh I thought his show was really, really nice. Now I mean, there was I thought there was too much of him being naked. I thought it was like when they ran out of jokes, he would just show up naked, and
that was a thing that happened quite a lot.
Yeah, and so I didn't really need that because then it didn't add anything. It just was just him naked. And
why did I just say Auntie Griselda?
I don't know.
I don't know. I can't remember. It just came out. I'm gonna have to watch the tape back. I said Auntie Griselda. Steven, you know the reference for Auntie Griselda? Good. That's good.
Last night, myself and my wife and a bunch of friends went out to a place called Maryland Mallet. We went there for trivia.
Maryland Malice?
MD Mallet.
Maryland. Yeah, Maryland Mallet, like a hammer, like crap mallet.
Because Michael Malice is he's a far right wing fucking anarchist. But okay.
Well, there was anarchy there because it was a trivia contest. Yeah, it was on the trivia things. You have a bunch of teams, and our table, I think we came in like 8th place or something. I'd be honest, one team, because I think, and this is the problem here, you can.
That is a problem. You're thinking that is a problem.
Yeah.
And a lot of that comes.
There was one table that had like hundreds of points, and everybody else was like way behind. So I'm thinking, first of all, some of these things nobody knows these. I know it's trivia, and so somebody should know because it's trivia. But a lot of the stuff, like, there's some things that you'd have to be like, you have to Google the shit. And I think that's what happened. I think somebody was actually Googling stuff. at that one table. And I'm not a loser because I've lost.
Leave your phones at the door while we're triviaing down. We're triviaing out. Here's, if stay home, buy yourself a Trivial Pursuit, call your friends over. Don't go out to a fucking bar and annoy the world with your fucking trivia little cunty little. I'm sorry, I said cunty. I didn't mean cunty.
But now one thing I did learn was that, like they talked about the first show that the first television show that was broadcast in stereo. They wanted to know what year it was, or what decade. And I honestly thought it was in
1980s.
It was 1980. It was 1984. I got the show right. I got the year wrong. So we got the show right, but with the year, it was like I'm thinking it had to be like 1960s, but no.
Trivia is one of my strong suits. I'm pretty good at trivia.
Well, I used to be good at trivia when I cared about trivia.
It's a trivial thing to say.
Remember, I had a friend of mine. His name was. I don't want to mention his name anymore because we're not friends anymore. But we used to play Trivia Pursuit against other people in teams, and he and I would clean up because
I hate him.
His knowledge of literature and arts, which was my weak point. Together we had music nailed down, and science and religion I had nailed down, and philosophy, he and I together.
You got music nailed down. What is Anti-Griselda?
I said together we did because I had gaps in my music knowledge. I'm
usually good with the with history, and science. Like we play a lot of Jeopardy.
So you're about science. What is Anti-Griselda?
Sounds like an old German lady.
No, Auntie Griselda. Yeah, like we were going over Auntie Griselda's house. Hey, little boys, this is Auntie Griselda.
She's gonna make some sausage and sauerkraut.
I hate when Auntie Griselda pinches my cheek like that.
You're one of my favorite nephews.
I'm gonna play the news.
And then we'll fucking Auntie Griselda.
In the next hour, we're expecting Dr. Albert Bramante, and his Auntie Griselda.
The United States economy saw a slight contraction during the first quarter of 2025, according to preliminary data released by the Commerce Department.
This figure was weaker than many economists had predicted, contributing to a downturn on Wall Street earlier. President Trump dismissed suggestions that his administration's tariffs contributed to the shrinkage, instead blaming residual effects from the previous administration. The report comes as businesses and consumers gauge the potential impacts of ongoing global trade policies. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Tensions between India and Pakistan are reportedly escalating following a recent deadly attack in the disputed Kashmir region.
Officials in both nuclear-armed nations have hinted at the possibility of imminent military responses. The United Nations Secretary General has voiced deep concern regarding the heightened friction between the two countries. The situation follows a recent attack that killed 26 tourists in Jammu and Kashmir. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
The process to select a successor to Pope Francis is scheduled to commence shortly. Cardinals from around the globe will gather in the Vatican for the conclave beginning May 7th.
Widespread speculation surrounds the potential candidates for the papacy, with online prediction games gaining popularity. Concurrently, advocacy groups representing abuse survivors are urging the next pontiff to enforce stringent, zero-tolerance policies regarding misconduct within the church. Benjamin Wright reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
A federal judge has ordered the release from custody of a Palestinian student activist from Columbia University.
Mahdawi had been active in campus protests concerning the conflict in Gaza. His arrest occurred amid heightened scrutiny of pro-Palestinian student activism on U.S. campuses. The judge's ruling allows Mahdawi to remain free while his immigration case continues. Kyle Norris reporting.
The federal agency tasked with enforcing campaign finance laws currently lacks the required number of commissioners to take official actions.
The Federal Election Commission's inability to achieve a quorum prevents it from issuing rulings, launching formal investigations, or creating new regulations. This operational paralysis stems from unfilled vacancies on the bipartisan commission. The gridlock raises concerns about the oversight of election spending and fundraising activities, particularly with ongoing political campaigns. Kevin Sanders reporting.
The U.S. Supreme Court heard arguments concerning a potential precedent-setting case involving public funding for a religious charter school in Oklahoma. Oklahoma.
Justices probed lawyers on the constitutional separation of church and state and the implications of allowing government funds to support an explicitly religious educational institution. Legal observers noted the justices appeared divided, and the court's eventual ruling could reshape the landscape of school choice and religious education funding nationwide. Jessica Oakley reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
The United States.
Shut up. I don't know why. Al, you're fired. Did somebody hit a button? Did Steven fucking push a button? Yeah.
No.
You did.
No, I did not.
Let me just, she knows your mind, all right, your Auntie Griselda. She knows my kind, she might, so maybe so. Oh, yeah? She raised you right, your Auntie Griselda. You know the things she wants you to know. I know she's having a fit. She doesn't like me a bit. No bird of grace ever lit on Auntie Griselda. You can't begrudge her style, your Auntie Griselda. She couldn't budge a smile and do it for free. So righteous making fudge, your Auntie Griselda. So proper judging others over her tea. You look just like her, you do. I know she's looking at you. That you've been listening to your Auntie Griselda.
Is this a song from your childhood?
Oh, no. Don't look at me like Auntie Griselda. It takes much more to be someone on your own. You've got to make it free from Auntie Griselda, or just like her, you'll have to make it alone. I know she's having a fit. She doesn't like me a bit. No bird of grace ever lit on Auntie Griselda.
Somebody's been Googling Auntie Griselda lyrics again.
Man, what a beautiful song you've written for me. I can't wait to come over there and smooch them cheeks.
I just wonder how that song ever got made. Like somebody said, first of all, how would it
probably AI?
Huh?
AI.
We blame the AI.
Yeah.
Way before AI.
No, as far as you know, there was AI 1.0. You know, back in the 50s, I'm sure. And it was very, very limited, very, very,
That's when they put smart black dudes in boxes and gave them paper.
Right. AI evolved over decades. We didn't just have it overnight. So yeah, they had AI back then. There was probably too little. Remember, I think AI stood for Asian infants, and they were actually
there. You go.
Yeah.
They put infants in boxes. They'd put a piece of paper in it. It would spit out the results. Like, oh, I wonder what this math question is. Put it in, and it would come out with the answers.
I did not.
I think
know
those were
they
called
made
Suzuki.
hats that big. I did not know they made hats that big. Yeah, I think he's talking about your big fucking hat that you have on your head.
Hi, buddy. How are you?
Why does he love you so much?
I don't know. He's a good guy.
Did you suck him off when he was a kid? I mean, when he was just like 10 or something behind the dumpster.
No, he's older than me.
That doesn't make a difference.
I would have been the kid.
So that's where you got your taste for young kid dick, though, right?
No.
Oh, where did you get your taste?
Never developed a taste for any dick.
I don't know about that. The audience says it otherwise. But we'll have your
PD, you're muted.
What is he doing? He's
I was scratching my leg. My leg. I was cutting pine trees, and my leg has been itching ever since. I'm wondering if something in the bushes.
You got chiggers.
Hey.
Hey. Because you know what chiggers are.
Chiggers that's a combination. That's childhood.
Oh my gosh. Somebody, I don't know who it was the last couple of days asked for an adult Dr. Seuss book, but I think I just thought of the title.
You just saw the title?
I do.
You just thought of it.
Oh.
I do like her eggs and yams. Sam, I am.
Now there was Dr. Seuss had a couple of races because he was an old school racist. So Dr. Seuss
find some, Google them and find us the examples of Dr. Seuss racism. We want to hear them.
I will see if I can find it because when I did the story on it years ago, it was getting harder to find because Dr. Seuss, his estate was trying to clean things up. and people were getting upset that he was trying to clean up. They're saying that he was doing it because of he was being forced to do it because of the PC culture. And it was like, no, it's like his desire to try to clean up his reputation.
6 Dr. Seuss books will stop being published because of racist imagery. And then I got a fucking ad pop up in my face.
Yeah, and there was like one with but it wasn't just the imagery. I think there was actually language as well. I think it was like the Chinaman. I think it was the way he's.
I think I saw it on Mulberry Street. If I ran the zoo, Mr. Elligott's Pool. Mr. Elligott's Pool. That's 3 of them. It doesn't tell me what the other 3 books are.
You got to buy the book. You got to buy the book to find out what the other 3 books are.
All right. Speaking of books, last night on the show, I had Russell Noel.
You said, "Here's the deal" last night.
Huh?
You said, "Here's the deal" last night.
I know. Russell Noelty, and he was telling me about buying subscribers. And I was saying, I get that offer all the time. Why would anybody buy? Because they're bots. And what's the purpose of buying? He said, I don't know if you know. He said, I don't think you can buy bots for YouTube and whatever. I was like, that's what the only place or Twitter or not Twitter, Twitch. People want to sell me bots for that shit all the time. He was talking about mailing list subscribers. They have to take certain actions, and once they like subscribe or buy something, and then you pay the people who sent them your way. I never heard of that before. You ever hear of that before? Buying
back in the old days when they actually had like magazines, they had subscription lists that you would pay for, and then you could send out magazines and mailers to those people.
Yeah. So it sounded like, I don't know, I got the impression that he was encouraging that buying subscribers to your blog or email list or something. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me because they're not going to. He says they will buy stuff from you, and these people end up being customers and buy all his books. I just can't see it. Well, if there are people who are getting paid to subscribe, are they getting paid, or is there like some agency that just has? I don't know. How does it fucking work? Explain to me how it works, Steven.
That doesn't make any sense to me. When it comes to the bots are just computerized programs that give you views and watch hours and shit for money. But for what he's talking about, I have no fucking clue.
I have no clue either. Like, how do you actually buy humans to subscribe?
What it sounds like he's talking about is like kind of like what GD said almost, but like buying a mailing list from a company.
Yeah, but he said they have to take at least 3 actions before you actually have to pay for them.
I feel like he's talking about real mailing lists for real people. I don't think he's talking about something completely different.
Email lists.
Yeah,
was what he was talking about, but blog subscribers too. And it's like I don't get it. Like, why would somebody do that? Who makes them do it? Are they getting paid by it? Like the actual subscribers, are they getting a chunk of that, whatever it costs?
Sounds like whatever that person may have signed up for, the company is gonna make money on it.
So if you're paying a company $1 for a subscriber, is the subscriber getting 50 cents of that or 30 cents of that, any of it?
No, they're just data. It's kind of like our data is out there, and we don't get paid for our data. We use other people's platforms, and they get to mine our data or mine our data.
So, right? But apparently, it helped him with his book career. He's doing pretty well. He's got lots of books out there, and they're all doing pretty well. I mean, USA Today best-selling author, and got 100. Anyway,
Matt, can I remove this imagery here? So that
imagery here?
The image of the knuckle imagery, the JPEG, the gang, because that way when the guy shows up, his picture will be up in the thing, and I'll see it.
Oh, here, I'll do it. I forgot to do the move from studio. It's gone.
Yeah,
if he shows up.
Well, if he shows up, this we'll see. Otherwise,
what if he hypnotized himself and he forgot?
He thinks it's tomorrow. He thinks he's a chicken and he can't get on the computer.
Maybe he hypnotized himself into a giant cock and doodle doo, and Then he heard about us talking about the Roosters this morning, and he's like, "Well, I'm not going on there."
Yeah, well, you know my position. You know my position, right?
Yeah, upright.
Missionary, face up, ass down,
doggy style.
Yeah,
ass up, face
dog
down.
Dog style, just dog style. That's all. No, my position on hypnosis. I just think it's just a magic trick without props.
That's how I feel about mediums.
Yeah, I'm a certified.
I'm a 2XL myself.
I'm a 2 to 3XL myself as well.
Yeah, if I tried a medium, that would be a trick, and also it'd be
100% same, man.
Yeah.
Same, yeah.
I wouldn't be. I would be like Blue. I would no longer be the black guy.
I'm actually a little upset. I went and bought a bunch of. I went and bought like 4 pairs of jeans.
Yeah.
And I'm down to a size 38, but I bought some 42s and I bought some 38s. And the 38s fit, but the 42s fit like 36s, and I don't get it.
Maybe they're metric.
Maybe. I don't know, but it doesn't make any sense. I got them all from the same section at the store. They were all folded together, all the same tags.
Also, because they're, and this is just, I don't know. I'm just, because there are different cuts. So like you can get like a 42 and they're like cut like mom jeans.
I got all boot cut jeans.
What's that mean? That you can put boots on over them?
They're slightly flared at the bottom. They're not like
so they'll fit over your boots.
Boots or tennis shoes, yeah.
Oh, okay, because I didn't know if the boots are supposed to go in the jeans are supposed to go in the boots, and that's what a boot cut is.
If you like riding dudes, then you put your jeans in your boots.
I did not know that.
But
I see a lot of cowboys wearing their boots like that.
But here's the thing: you did not know that. You've lived a life fine, or you've gotten along fine without knowing that. So you did not need to know that.
Right.
So fuck Steven for telling you that.
Oh, okay.
No, there are other reasons. There are other reasons to do that. You don't have to do it for that.
I just share this email with you. It says, "This is Johnny, business analyst at 99W Marketing Technology, an age-old digital marketing agency." How old could it be? Digital marketing hasn't been around age old. Over 10 years in the global market, having the main office at Arizona, USA. We exist for such a long only. This is the email. We exist for such a long only because we follow ethical business practices. Well, you haven't learned to write a fucking comprehensive sentence. My team discovered a few issues on your website which are affecting your online presence, your experience, and ranking. Do you want me to send detailed analysis report with screenshots? It sounds to me like this is a cops thing. They're trying to get me to click on Steven with some kids behind a dumpster, and I'm gonna get arrested and raided and whatever they call that. What do they call it?
Spooked?
Yes, swatted. That's what they call that. Did I hear a click? Because I'm reading the email.
Yes, Dr. Albert.
Dr. Bramante. Is it Bramante?
I don't know. I have to look at it.
Yeah. Oh, let's just call him Uncle Albert. We're
so sorry, Uncle Albert. But we haven't done a bloody thing all day.
Well,
we've
been trying to get it to a bloody thing. Let me,
Uncle Albert.
What do you guys want to read this long intro? Because I can't read this.
Sure. Okay, I'll do it. Uncle Albert is a true triple threat when it comes to empowering performers to overcome psychological roadblocks and achieve success.
You have to stop with the respectful doctor thing. You can't.
I said, we're so sorry, Dr. Albert, but we haven't done a bloody thing all day.
Okay,
As a veteran talent agent for over 20 years of securing major roles for actors, he has unparalleled insights into the entertainment industry's challenges. However, Dr. Albert, real superpower is his unique fusion to wear his cape on the outside of his pants and still look cool. What?
What the hell?
What?
Is that? I must have cut and pasted that from Penthouse Forum. I thought I was on it. I'm sorry, that's wrong.
This rare combination allows him to provide your audience with a credible expert. Well, you'd be the first credible expert we've ever had on this show today. Perspective on the mindset and psychology of peak performance for artists. Bramante doesn't just understand the pressures of the acting world, He can prescribe proven psychological strategies to help performers break through self-doubt, imposter syndrome, fear of success, and self-sabotaging patterns, like appearing on the show to help your career.
Right.
Your listeners will gain exclusive access to Bramante's psychological toolkit tailored specifically for the creative struggles actors face. With knowledge translated into practical experiences, exercises, yes, they'll learn to adopt empowering mindsets, productive habits, and silence self-limiting beliefs. Ladies and gentlemen.
Where does the 4.7 years ago part start?
Ladies and gentlemen, for your entertainment and misery, the Dr. Albert Bramante. And you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car.
Yeah. How are you? Thank you for being here.
Thank you. That was the best intro ever. Thank you. I enjoyed that.
Wow.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Well,
Thank you. I have imposter syndrome, so I like to pretend I'm an MC on weekends.
Well, you did a great job of that. Okay.
You help people with sabotaging their career, but then you come on a program like this and sabotage your own authority.
Well, I got to keep everyone on their toes, you know.
All right.
That's my job.
All right. Can you fix me here quickly today? Because I when you talk about imposter syndrome,
you don't have to do it quickly. We know it's going to take time. So ignore the word quickly.
We only have.
He uses that a lot. He uses the word quickly a lot. He uses it when it comes to eating. I want to get a quick meal. He uses it with sex. Just a quickie. He just uses that word. So ignore
quickly
that
shut
one.
The fuck up. All right, thank you. I have imposter syndrome. I also have debilitating stage fright. But somehow I overcome it every time. But before any performance, I lose my mind. I'm ready to just just run away and hide. Come on, fix me. You got 20 seconds.
Okay. First of all, it's normal to feel that way, and that you can use that nerves to make yourself even be a better speaker. So by transforming that energy into actual passion for what you're doing. So reframe that nerves into passion. Get passionate in what you do.
So you're talking about transmutation. You're talking about taking what exists and then helping it to evolve to another state or another energy that you can use for something more productive.
100%, yes.
Wow, will someone write that down so I know what I just said?
Yeah, he said something about trans, and then he started going into mutants, trans mutants.
They're turning the frogs gay.
I knew that. So, are there specific steps I could take to kind of deal? I mean, it's easy to hear you say that, but I still don't know what to do.
Well, the one thing is before you go on for any presentation, go on for any, whether it's recording an episode or doing a presentation, just visualize beforehand that you're being successful, that it's going well, and that the audience is responding to you. They're laughing with you. They're enjoying it. And then you just keep doing that every time, because the brain does not know the difference between reality and fiction in your imagination.
So I don't pretend they're all naked?
I mean, you could. You could. I mean,
it gave me wood, to be honest with you. I'd be standing up there with a big boner now. I'm seeing all the audiences all naked, especially if it's
he's exaggerating. He's actually like a big boner, but
Steven, are you awake? I thought we already started the hypnosis there. You look like your eyes were closed.
I was turning into a frog.
Oh, okay. That would have been interesting.
Now, Steven, is that a transactional analysis frog, or is this like a Princess and the Pea thing, like Disney? And you're waiting
Princess
for someone.
and the what?
Princess and the Pea. Or is this like a Disney frog? You're waiting for someone to kiss you and you turn into a handsome young prince. I was just curious which kind of frog it was.
I'm hoping my AI girlfriend will kiss me and turn me into a real boy.
Alex Jones will kiss you and turn you into
that'll be really interesting to see.
Yeah. Anyway, so you say this is I think you said it's normal. I believe that's the word you use, normal for people to feel. How do some people mask it? Because some people just seem like complete. And I know lots of them in the performing arts who just seem like they're just full of confidence, self-confidence, and don't have a bit of imposter syndrome.
A lot of times it's the whole idea of fake it till you make it. So they could be used internally. Since we cannot read their minds, we don't know what's going on internally. So they rehearse their performance over and over again, even both in their mind and actually through their actions. So they're able to at least externally project confidence and externally project that they're competent and confident and that they're, trustworthy and warm and all that, while they may be internally, feeling a little bit of tension. And that little bit of tension can help. Even Tony Robbins, for instance, says that there's times where he get a little tension before going on stage where he, whether it's hundreds of thousands or thousands of people. So even when I heard that, it was like even a relief, saying like it's okay to be, a little bit.
Elvis had it really bad, or claimed to have had bad stage fright. I don't know if it's stage fright and imposter syndrome. Are they the same thing, or are they different sides of the same coin?
They're different sides of the same coin, but they are related, though, because usually with imposter syndrome, you start to feel you self-doubting yourself, and you start to feel that you're not really competent enough to deliver what you're delivering, or that people are going to find out that you're a fraud in a sense.
Yeah.
And it's that self-consciousness that you feel that, again, I'm a fraud. Are people really going to be paying attention to me? And so you start feeling that way.
So basically, I should be a bass player, is what you're saying.
I'd say if that's what you want. I mean,
I'm sorry,
so it's conceivable. So it's conceivable then. I'm just going to use myself as an example. Back when I used to play basketball, I had a reputation that I began to believe that I could not score. I was now during practice, I was an excellent shooter, and people would watch my form and go, "It's amazing that you ever miss," because I would be like nailing them from 3-point and just everywhere. And then the game starts, and unless I get into a zone, occasionally, but there was one night I hit like 14 shots in a row, and that's not me. Okay, that's not me at all. And after I hit 10 in a row, I said, I know I'm going to miss. I always miss. And then I hit 11. I said, I'm going to miss. I know that, this is not me. I hit 12. I'm like, what? Something's wrong. And even the people on the side are going, who replaced Glenn? What the hell's going on? I hit 14 in a row. And then it's like, what? And then I said, and once I missed, I felt relief. I like, there's the Glenn I know. And it was the kind of miss that I always had, like hit the back of the rim, pop up, bounce around, and fall out. Then I knew that I had returned. But hitting those 14 shots in a row, that's not me,
And that's what imposter syndrome would look like, because it would be like, hey, this isn't me. But in reality, you practiced, you trained, so why not, have you hit 14 or 20 or 25 in a row? You trained, you worked hard for that moment. Right. So embrace that, moment, like, and that's part of like how you look at yourself and how you describe yourself. So, if you say it there like I'm always miss, well, that your brain is going to say, okay, your wish is my command, you'll miss. And that's what could have happened after the 14th one, because your brain said, okay, well, you're telling me I should be missing, so let's miss one or two.
And once I missed, I went on another streak again. It's like once I missed, I went on another streak, and then the streak, I didn't feel bad about the second streak, because the real me had shown up and it missed, and then I went on another streak until.
Oh yes, they call him the streak. Woo! I'm sorry. Steven doesn't get that reference. Do you get that reference, Steven? Of course not.
No.
It's the B-side to Anti Griselda.
That was also in Blazing Saddles.
Right.
Shit.
Yeah. You missed a lot when you missed Blazing Saddles.
Apparently.
Apparently there's like 20 hours of material you've missed.
Apparently it's the cornerstone of like 20 years of American history.
The movie Blazing Saddles was based on a book called Rise Above Script by Dr. Albert Vermonte. We're showing right now. I've looked for the book. It's not on your website, right? We have the website going across there. There's no place I can buy it on the website. I think I got the picture of the book from just Google the title of the book, and so it comes up. It looks like it's on a tablet here. Is the book out yet?
Yes, it's on Amazon. You can get it either paperback. You can get it on Kindle or even audio books. I have it on Audible.
Okay. We'll have to find out those links and put them in the description, because I have the link to your website, thinking that people would be able to buy it there, and then I went there and I couldn't find it. So now the book, it looks like a tablet thing. So that's basically the primary way it's delivered, or is there a hardcover or
yeah, there's a paperback. There's paperback. You can get either format. There's 3 formats: paperback, Kindle, or audiobook.
Okay, so now it's based on hypnosis and NLP to help you overcome some of these conditions. I don't know how are they even conditions, but so you're using hypnosis and NLP. Can people get that from reading the book?
Excuse me, Matt. Would you mind telling people what NLP is for people who may not know what NLP is?
Sure. NLP is stands for neuro-linguistic programming, and so it's using like language. It's using imagination and language and mental processes to change and rewire neurology. So you rewire your nervous system, especially in your brain and how your brain processes information. So it's by using, again, thoughts and, and language. So, there's a lot of simple processes in there. And there are also a lot of mindset work in there too. Mindset psychology in the book. So, it's like how what we were just saying before, how you view yourself in your mind. So if you say like you're struggling or you're starving, if you keep identifying yourself as a struggling, performer, struggling athlete, or starving performer, or starving artist, what winds up happening, unfortunately, again, it creates your reality. So we can change that by saying I'm a professional working athlete, a professional working actor, I'm a professional working artist. And just by doing that over and over again,
I don't know if you know this about me, but I've been
but part of that, I'm sorry, man. Part of, to be honest, there's a part of me that wants to be honest about my situation in my life. And so, that drives more than anything else. So it's hard for me to quote as an adult. As a child, I loved Fake It Till You Make It. Yeah, when I was a child, I was doing Fake It Till You Make It. I didn't know
Fake It Till You're Naked.
I didn't know that's what it was called. I mean, I was very timid. I was afraid of things, and whenever I was afraid of a situation, I used to pretend I was Muhammad Ali. And that was how I got through things as a child. As
like
Muhammad
a butterfly
Ali.
sting like a bee?
Yes, I would assume that Cassius Clay identity to help me through rough times.
Until Cassius Clay or Muhammad Ali?
Well, both, because he was both throughout my lifetime. Yeah. And as I got older, I no longer needed that part of that pretense. I could protect myself. And so I no longer needed Muhammad Ali in my head to do that. Now, go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're using a process. You're using a process that you just said in NLP called modeling. So you're modeling, at that time as a child, you were modeling Muhammad Ali or Cassius Clay, and it became a part of you. So that at least those traits that you modeled eventually became your reality and who you are. So we can use that. So like, let's say somebody wants to gain confidence. So what does confidence look like? Physiology. What does it look like, in your vocal tone? And then we can start copying those actions. And then eventually your brain is going to say, okay, I'm confident. After a few times of doing that, trials of doing that, your brain will now pick up that wiring and say, hey, I'm confident, or hey, I'm capable of doing this. So
but it seems like you have to, because life comes in different aspects. Now, so as a child, I needed that Muhammad Ali aspect for that particular part of my life. But now I'm a grown up. I don't need that anymore. I have that confidence. I could probably beat Muhammad Ali with one hand top behind my back right now. Bring him on. I could beat him. But
any other dead guys you want to fight? Because he's kind of dust.
I got a whole list of dead guys I want to fight.
Foreman, maybe?
Matter of fact, I have a whole list of dead guys. Put them in the ring all at once. I'll take them all on. But now that I'm an adult, as a comedian, as a professional comedian, I have stage fright. I have stage fright every time, before I go up. And my mindset now isn't that I'm like this great comedian. I don't have a comedian that I emulate. I tell myself, this is a job and you can do the job.
See, that's wrong. It's not a job.
It is a job. It's a
lifestyle.
It's an imposter of a job. The job is the imposter.
Well, it's an imposter in a job in a sense that it pretends like it's going to pay.
Yeah.
No, you're thinking of job as in like a career. I'm thinking job as in task. It's a task for me to complete. It's another task.
I thought because at the end of the day, there should be a paycheck. And if there's not a
paycheck, I think that's my problem because I don't expect a paycheck. I expect weed and food. And love and admiration, which I never get.
To come back to what you said before about telling yourself I'm a successful or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I've been saying that, but I never get myself to believe it. Because I know I'm a fucking liar. And I'm lying to myself. So it doesn't work because I've made enough money to buy 3 houses and put kids through college and all that kind of stuff with my entertainment career, but I still feel like a total failure. The other night I had a acting job and I'm not very confident with that at all and was beating myself up. At the end of the show, I got paid well. The other actors said they enjoyed working with me. They said they loved it. And I got the whole ride home, I'm just beating myself up on the stuff I screwed up, the lines I could have delivered better. And at the end of the day, it was just an exercise in how to beat myself up some more. So it doesn't work for me, that lying to myself and all that stuff.
Well, you're saying you just said a key word there. The fact that you're thinking that's lying to yourself. Of course, it's not going to work. Then you're setting that up already in your mind by saying I'm lying to myself. Why not say you're telling the truth to yourself and start reframing it that way? Because when first of all, one of the things we say also in NLP is there's no such thing as failure, only feedback. So even if you were that actor who flubbed a line or a couple lines here and there, use that as a learning experience so that maybe you need to rehearse. If that actor keeps messing up lines, that might mean now it's time to rehearse a little bit more or get more into some training or some coaching. So that you take what you've got, what you messed up or thought you messed up on, and use that as feedback, and use that as a way to improve the next time. You said to yourself, if you put 3 houses and put your children through help them grow up. That's a major accomplishment a lot of people cannot even say.
I do feel like that's justification for being born. Like I'm not like down on myself into the point that my life has been worthless. I think I've contributed to a couple of wives and some kids and all that kind of stuff. But let's put that into. I'm telling myself the truth. No, you're not. You're a fucking liar. See what I say? I know. Even if I tell myself I'm telling myself the truth, I know that I'm a fucking liar, and so I tell myself I'm the truth, but I'm still calling myself a liar for telling myself I'm telling the truth because we knew you were lying to you in the beginning.
But Matt, you're not. It's okay. Most people lie to themselves about some things, but I don't think anybody lies to themselves about everything.
That's exactly right. That's exactly true.
Oh my God, I'm on the streak here. I'm retiring. I'm sorry. I'm out. I'm quitting while I'm ahead. I'm done.
Wow.
Oh no.
No.
I was just gonna say thank God you did the amazing thing and worked miracles here. We hypnotized him and that come. Oh, he's back.
Oh, I thought you said, oh, he's black.
Oh, well,
that's.
How do you know
He will
that?
be.
How do you know you're not lying to yourself? You could be an imposter. You could be a white guy just impostoring black guy.
I have other evidence.
All right. So psychologically, now I've just come beyond. And by the way, we wanted to know before the question was asked: were you a PhD psychologist before the hypnosis stuff, or what came first, the chicken or the egg, or the hypnosis or the?
The psychology came first. The psychology came first.
See, that seems like a world champion prize fighter going back for a few beginner boxing lessons. It seems like you completed doctorate in psychology. Now you're going back for something you can learn at the local library on a Friday night. It seems backwards to me. Like that's where
it actually enhances the psychology the way I've always approached it. It enhances my understanding of psychology, and there are books obviously that teach hypnosis, but there's also training. I mean, I've been through several 200 to 500-hour courses in certification in hypnosis. So it really just enhances that. I mean, I feel like it's not like one or the other. I feel like they just complement each other, in a sense.
Yeah.
Now I have a question. When I was growing up, the big thing when I was in high school, the big thing was biofeedback. Is NLP similar? Is NLP like biofeedback for the soul, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, because you're using in neurology, and a lot of times it might even be connecting to feelings in your body in a sense. So, where does that feel? When you've experienced that fear, that anger, or that sadness, it's kind of like, where is it in your body? Locate it in your body, and then use your imagination to transform it. Okay, give it a color. Change the color. Give it a sound. Change the sound in that. And therefore, the goal there is when doing that repeatedly, you're changing the sensation from the inward out. So yes, you are using biofeedback, except without the machine or equipment. You're using it with your imagination.
We have a serious question from the peanut gallery. Serious question. It starts by saying serious question. That's how I know it's a serious question. Why are psychologists so interested in finding out if their patients are happy?
Because a lot of psychologists view happy as being an optimal state of productivity, of just general well-being. Now, what really is subjective and sometimes tricky is the definition of happy. Because that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be smiling and things are being positive 24/7. What it means also, in the way I look at it, and this is again my viewpoint, I'm going to preface that with my viewpoint only, is that happiness is just being resilient and being able to embrace your emotions, even the ones that might not be the most, optimal at the moment. Like, being okay with being sad, being okay with being angry, but temporarily being able to bounce back from that and appreciating these emotions. So I think there's a such thing in the way I look at it, like, Pollyanna or like unrealistic happiness, where it's like, okay, you're supposed to be smiling 24/7. Like the song, by Bob McFerrin, "Don't Worry, Be Happy," which is somewhat a little bit misleading. I mean, I appreciate the message behind it, but it also, I feel like in some ways it kind of trivializes or negates somebody's real struggle sometimes.
I think he's talking about he's on his way to the bank, so don't worry. Don't worry about me. Be happy. I'm fine.
Yeah.
And this song is making lots of money. Buy the song.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. The landlord says the rent is late. You can't fake it till you make it on paying them. I mean, basically, that's not going to happen. You're going to get evicted, addicted. You're going to get evicted, then addicted.
I think that's what happened with Nicky Cat. I think he was being evicted from the landlord came to get his rent, and he was overdue rent, and he had committed suicide.
See, now here's I think NLP and all these, because people started hanging out shingles as life coaches. People who had no degree in psychology, they would go for like a certification, a 3-hour course, and now I'm certified, and then hang out a shingle and call themselves a certified hypnotist and start going and giving these speeches and like they know all the answers, putting themselves out as authority figures. And we just got inundated with this stuff, and I think it becomes, that's where it gets a label as being just junk science or pseudoscience.
Of course, and like I said, there's bad actors in every profession, and that's why I don't, again, it's not just a 3-hour course. It's that's going to make someone a professional in anything. It takes hours of training and years of practice that's going to really make someone successful in really anything. And yeah, life coach. I mean, the person on the street can be a life coach.
I
Call
have a
themselves
question
life
real
coach.
quick. Do you have is your office by chance in
Did you say
Westminster,
real quick?
Maryland? Yeah.
Hold on.
No.
Did you say I have a question?
Your
Real
office
quick.
is in Westminster, Maryland?
No, I'm in New York.
New York. Do you want to open an office in Westminster, Maryland?
That's interesting. I've never been to Westminster, Maryland, so I don't know.
It's the center of comedy. It is like the universal center of comedy. What?
Well, I'm glad you're leading me into what I want to ask him about, and I will get back to it in a second. But earlier, you were talking about me saying quick too much, and then I have a question real quick, is what you said, and then I asked you if you said real quick, and you kind of, I'm not going there. I'm going to avoid that. You did say real quick,
right?
All right. Because the other problem, the flip side of this in comedy, and I think Stephen and GD might appreciate my position on this, is that
right in the chair.
The opposite of imposter syndrome is more prevalent, where people think they actually have talent, or they're convinced they have a gift. Oh, I just need somebody to discover my gift, and they think they're really talented. They don't put in the work for it, and then they're out there performing, and never once do they get imposter syndrome or down on themselves. But they're sucking and never made a dime at it. 45 years old, 50 years old, and still can't get paid a nickel. So it's how do you, without being a dream killer, a buzz killer, a pipe dream killer, whatever, how do you address that when people think the law of attraction, all I have to do is be positive, and it just doesn't work.
Well, going back, there's a lot to unpack, in that one, but even with law of attraction, there's a piece missing from it, because it's great to manifest, but where's the plan of action there? Where's the drive? I mean, I could sit here and manifest I want $1 million, but if I'm going to be sitting here thinking I want $1 million all day long, I'm not. I'm going to find myself homeless.
Right.
So
or you'll have somebody will give you a game for Christmas, like Payday or Go for Broke, which has like over $1 million in play money, and you will have manifested $1 million, but not $1 million useful dollars.
Right. Exactly. And that's why even some people make a lot of money and then lose it real quickly, because they don't really know how to handle that. But what you were saying before is there's like in the book, I kind of call it like toxic high self-esteem, which is like, okay, I'm infallible. And then you don't become open to feedback. It's like, you don't know what you're talking about. You try to give them constructive criticism or feedback and say, well, this is what you could do better, or this is, maybe you need to work on your set more. And it becomes a point where and everybody doesn't know what they're talking about. And also they become really ultra sensitive when it comes to disapproval or criticism. When you point out what they're doing wrong, they get really hyper defensive. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know good comedy. Whatever that
negative for my universe.
Right.
But yeah,
exactly.
I get a lot.
If you knew anything about comedy, you would.
But this is the thing where, and it seems like it's epidemic among, because we have so many people in comedy who call themselves comedians, who are really aspiring to be comedians. But a lot of these people who they are delusional to the point where they believe they were touched by the hand of God with some special gift, and it just takes somebody to recognize it because they made their friends laugh, and that stops them from taking action and doing the work it takes to improve their craft and doing all that stuff. And if you point that out, if you say, no, you're going in the wrong direction here, and I'm not saying there's only one path to success, but you have to, it starts with action and work and working on it, not just dreaming about it, not just sitting on your ass thinking I belong on a big stage. You actually have to do something. If you say that, you're just being negative. This is where we're at in the world today, is any real valid critique, not even critique, suggestion of taking action towards your goals. oh, that's just negative. I don't want to do that. That's not my work. I just want to show up and have somebody recognize like that. It believe me, from my seat, this is my experience with
But man, we also reward a lot of those people with on social media. A lot of those very same people that you're talking about have like thousands and thousands, and well, to me that's a lot, hundreds of thousands of followers, and they're not really talented, but somehow they manage to find that niche,
Yeah.
And other people buy into the lie. Sometimes it's not important. Sometimes it's just as important that you buy into your lie and the other people buy into your lie as well.
What about that?
Well, social media, like I said, can be sometimes misleading, and that's why, very often, the on-screen talent does not translate very well off stage. And you have these influencers that have hundreds of thousands of people and followers, and yet, they have no real skills, that will translate in the real world.
Yeah.
And it becomes that disillusion. And a lot of times, I think these people subconsciously either, these followers, these people care about me, and they really don't. They're looking for the next, whatever it is you're going to give them, that feeling. And they're not your friends. They're not your real life, friends. So they're not. And then that's why, like, a lot of these influencers are empty inside.
Yeah.
Because it's.
Yeah, and we get a lot of I get a lot of people who just parrot cliches about this kind of stuff. I bring up the law of attraction because I do think even if anytime the law of attraction works for somebody, it's because they did take action. And I think the concept is supposed to, you believe, like, you want to manifest $1 million or whatever that goal that you put out there for yourself is. If you concentrate on enough, by concentrating on enough, you will be more inclined to set a plan of action. But a lot of people just think that that's enough. It's just to believe it, and then they just want to kind of parrot all these hallmark phrases and stuff. Just think positive and all good things will happen, and it just doesn't happen. And it's so frustrating to hear over and over again. I'm going to pronounce myself an expert. Meanwhile, I can't pay the rent. I have no money coming in, but I'm just I'm declaring myself an expert in the power of positive thinking. It's to me, it's one of the most debilitating tactics that a lot of entertainers, a lot of creatives do. Is they delude themselves into someday it's going to happen. If I just keep doing, if I stay on this failed path that I've been on, I just got to keep believing I'm not failing. And this is part of the fake it to make it stuff. It's like where it loses me is I know plenty of people are faking it. I can name one person who's been faking it for 25 years, and he's still not.
I've been doing comedy for 10 years, man. Okay,
that's not you. See, good thing you didn't have a cup to break. You know what I'm talking about. But I'm not going to name him. But you know who I'm talking about. But it doesn't ever occur to them that this is not. It's not working out. Change the path, like Einstein said, and we didn't say it about insanity. But you just don't keep doing the same failed thing over and again and expecting different results.
Yeah,
but that's exactly what jokes are. That's what the open mic is. You do the same thing over and over again, expect a different result. That's an open mic.
Yeah. So, in a way, these people are faking it, but never making it.
Right. Well, there. Part of that would be, the purpose of an open mic would be okay, and then you need to change the jokes up after a few times. If it's not, you judge the feedback of the audience. If people are not laughing or not getting a good response, then it's time to sit back and go back to the drawing board and come up with new material, not picking the same thing over and over again. Or
if you're the right comedian, you're saying the audience just doesn't get me. They're stupid. I know
those comics make me so upset when they're on stage. They're like, "Wow, fuck you guys! That joke was great," and it's like, obviously, it fucking wasn't. You nerd, get off the stage.
Yeah. Well, and that's where they get that illusion where, okay, I'll win the audience now by cursing them out. No, that'll do it.
Oh But that's how I
So
met my first wife.
James Hinton.
My first wife turned down my engagement, so I went in and I berated her and I called her dirty names until she went, "Okay, I'll marry you. Stop calling me
It
a
always
slut."
works.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I met my first wife. Yeah.
So self-esteem is another word that comes in. Yeah, is toxic self-esteem, toxic self-worth, or just delusional about your own talent?
Well, yeah, and because what happens is you're not open to feedback, you're not coachable, and if you really have good self-esteem, healthy self-esteem, you'll be okay with getting some feedback that may be critical or that might not be positive in a sense, because either you'll learn from it or it'll just be like, okay, that was your opinion, and and you wouldn't be necessarily totally phased by that. And again, if a lot of times with having good self-esteem, even if you get that feedback that's constructive, you can think to yourself, is there something that I can change? Is there something I can work on? Is there something I can improve? Maybe I need to work on my delivery of this line, or maybe I need to change that that punchline or that joke. It didn't work. Okay. All right. So, and that's part of open mic night, especially for comedians. You're workshopping. That's what you're doing. You're workshopping, and that means, good and ideas that aren't so good, and you adapt from that and say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna come up with new, the next open mic night of new material and see how that goes.
Okay, Dr. Albert, I'm going to have you put on your thinking cap for a second. Yeah. Now, do you believe that everyone has a sense of humor? And I'm going to preface this by saying that I recently came to the conclusion, I'm not saying it's correct, but I came to the conclusion that one's sense of humor is in direct proportion with one's self-awareness. So if you're not self-aware, you can't have much of a sense of humor. And the more self-awareness you have, the more of a sense of humor you can have.
Yes. People have the capacity for a sense of humor. I will say that. I don't know if everybody has a sense of humor, but it is a sign of intelligence, though, too. If you have a sense, you find humor in things. It's a sign of both emotional intelligence and actual intelligence. It really depends on your own happiness. If you really don't have a sense of humor, I would be concerned about are you unhappy? Are you depressed? And maybe not even know to yourself that you're depressed. And this, of course, there's varying degrees of sense of humor too, and levels of that.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. In proportion, a sense of humor in proportion to one's self-awareness. And I forgot about. To be honest, I didn't factor in intelligence. I think that's just a blind spot on me because I have high intelligence, so I just didn't think of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't think of it because you do it all the time. But self-awareness is something I am aware. I've always been intelligent. I was not always self-aware. So that's something I could track. Self-awareness and humor. So,
well, and that's where the intelligence and self-awareness comes in, because then you could pick up the, idiosyncrasies of a human condition and turn that into, something people can laugh at, the inconsistencies of the human experience, and
that the qualifying part, though.
Yeah.
Intelligent for a black guy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I should have mentioned that. Yes, intelligence or Blanco. What was it? No,
don't ever let it happen again.
Negro Diablo. Yeah. So, Matt. I'm sorry. I'm putting this out there publicly. If it's okay if I get your contact information from Matt, because I would like to continue this conversation outside of this format.
Yes.
If it's okay with you.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So thanks. I tried to, because there's no, on your website there isn't a contact information for you.
I was under the impression that he was going to be setting up an office in Westminster, Maryland. So.
Well, that's what we're going to talk about. That's one of the things we're going to talk about is him setting up. Now, I realize he can't be in both places, so he probably had to timeshare a little bit. But I could run the office, be a receptionist, and so if he wants to be down here on Mondays and Tuesdays or something, and then run the New York office Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I can be his receptionist down here and keep him in the waiting room until you come back.
Okay.
Wow.
Captive
And fake it till
audience.
you're naked.
Yeah, right.
So, briefly, because we're kind of short on time here. What got you was talent? Because you were a talent agent, right? You were booking.
Well, I still do that from time. So that's and that's what's the focus of my book. Even though it's geared towards actors, I feel like it's applicable to everybody. But I started my first agency in 2004.
Your first agency?
Yeah.
Go on.
So I pretty much, and then around the pandemic, I had partnered up with someone else, and then we kind of merged our agencies into another, bigger one. And then, I'm not going to get too much into it, but the partnership didn't really work out. So then in January 1st, 2024, I relaunched, and created a separate agency. So, but I work pretty much, with actors in New York. So film, TV, theater,
Matt just lit up. Matt just lit up because Matt says he's not an actor, but he really wants to be an actor. He really does want to be. He wants to be like he wants a recurring. Matt and I were talking just before the show, and he was telling me that he wants to be the recurring dead guy on Law and Order, so that every week they find a dead guy and it's him. He wants that starting role.
I'm really good at dying or being dead. I've played the dead guy in quite a few short films, and I feel like that's my niche is dead.
So if you could do that for Matt, that would be like a great boost for his career.
I have a problem remembering my lines, though. So
and the cause of death.
Yeah, I think that kind of helps, with that, just being dead. You don't have to really worry about that.
Well, the one time I remember I was watching the one show and Matt forgot his cause of death, and he was supposed to have been dead by stabbing, but he looked like he had been dead by strangulation, and that was really threw it off. I couldn't believe it anymore. I'm like, he does not look like a stabbing victim. That really looks like reticular hemorrhage right there. What did you strangle him with a knife?
Strangle him with a knife.
What did you say? Strangle him with a knife and go to the eye?
I know. Because I was thinking reticular hemorrhaging. I was thinking reticular hemorrhaging. Yeah. That's where that would occur.
This has not been a very productive episode for you to be on. I hope you're on a more productive podcast that helps sell you.
Well, I definitely enjoyed it, though. I will say that. This is one of the most enjoyable ones.
Hit a B.
What do you get a load of me? No.
Oh, somebody. Yeah. So you're gonna get a request to be on GD some goddamn.
Actually,
show.
Okay. Let's see. Here's the deal. I'll put it out there. There's two things I wanted to talk to you about. One of them is I do have a podcast. I hate calling it a podcast, but
it shrinks in the pool.
Yeah, but it's called Done Way Past Funny, where we discuss the art and science and psychology and business of comedy with comedians and comedian adjacent people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's one thing. But the other thing is myself and Alan Katz are starting a new podcast in June. And our first episode is on whether or not everyone has a sense of humor. And we wanted to talk to a professional comedian, which we booked. And we also want to talk to a psychologist about the same thing. And I really like your answer, because also with your answer, you added something that I didn't consider. Matter of fact, as many times as myself and Ellen have talked about it, neither of us have brought up intelligence into it. We keep approaching it from the psychological and emotional aspect, and neither one of us
neither one of you brought intelligence to the table. I get it.
No, neither one of us brought intelligence to the table, and you'll think that two people as intelligent as us, but again, it's probably something you just take for granted. It's like an elephant thinking. An elephant doesn't know he's big until he meets a bigger elephant, then it's like, holy crap, that's what a big elephant looks like.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Mike Waltz is out as national advisor. Breaking news, by the way.
Oh. Anyway, so yeah, we thank you for being on the program. The book is called Rise Above Script. It's available on Amazon. Well, I'll find the link to that. But in the meantime, you go to Dr. Bramante's website, albertbramante.com. And the link is in the description. Thanks for being here, and have a great day. And thanks for putting up with this nonsense.
Yeah, and thank you again for inviting me. Really happy to be here.
And I will be in touch as soon as, if I don't get in touch with you, that's because Matt didn't give me your information.
I will
All
do
right.
it. I'll do
Okay.
it right now.
Well, great. Well, thank you very much, everybody.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Let's put this book right in front of Steven's face. Look at that. Steven, look. Come on. I like the book in front of your face. The book is actually a tablet in what we're looking at, but I'm going to take that out here. Yeah, so it wasn't Dr. Katz like an animated show or something?
Sounds like it could be.
I think it was Dr. Katz. I don't know. We didn't. The hope was he would cure Steven of his little, thing that we're not accusing him of. That we really, whatever. But we were trying to get him cured of that, and we didn't do it. So I feel like
where was the hypnotism?
You want to do a little hypnotism? You want to do a little of that right now? I'm serious. You want to get hypnotized? I'll hypnotize you right now. Seriously.
I don't know. Will I be able to go to work still?
No. Well, yeah, but you'll be quacking like a duck.
Oh, that's fine.
Do you want to quack like a duck? What else would you quack like? You're not going to quack like a gorilla.
Quack like a platypus.
Oh yeah, platypus. Do they quack? They have a bill.
I don't know, but they have a duck bill, right?
Yeah, duck-billed platypus has a bill. Not all platypuses. There's like, I don't know. I'm not a platypus expert. CD, what are you doing? Are you crying? Or are you sad? What's happening?
Somebody sent me a text, asked me to check out a show that has Fleetwood Mac on it.
Don't click on that link. It's gonna get arrested for
bad. No, it's Mickey Delaney. I know who it is. It's Mickey. I know Mickey Delaney, and it's not a link. He just sent me a text telling me, that Governors, that Malcolm Dead Comedy is going to have Fleetwood Mac, but he spelled it funny, so I don't know if he spelled it FLEETWOODMACK. All three different words, three separate words, like Fleet.
I think that's a tribute band. Fleetwood Mac is a Long Island Fleetwood Mac tribute band.
Oh, okay, that's all right. That makes sense, because I thought his spell check had just gone bananas on his. He typed in the actual Fleetwood Mac, and his spell check went, "Do you mean Fleetwood Mac?"
So, yeah, they're not even together anymore. I mean,
are you a retard?
Me?
So I just sent him. I told him I would try to check it out, because I'm gonna, when the show is over, I'm gonna eat lunch, and then I'm gonna be in my yard trying to cut up a 65-foot pine tree with a 14-inch electric chainsaw.
I want to see video, or it didn't happen.
It's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while, because that chainsaw, I only have one battery, so I can chainsaw for like an hour or two. And because it's a 65-foot tree, it's a lot of fucking branches. And the base
the sound of the man working on the chain.
Yeah. And I've never seen so much wood, upright wood, in my life. It's like 20, 30 inches around.
You should go behind the dumpster with Steven. He'll show you some upright wood.
But the thing is, the top is so jagged from where the tree broke. I can't imagine going that being. You'd have to cover it with something big and smooth. But
I was just fucking like what you like Steven does to children.
But the thing is, I'm thinking, because the tree itself, like I said, it's gone.
So to the point where pedophile jokes with Steven just flow over like water. Nobody even bothers to even acknowledge them anymore.
Because we've established he's a child enthusiast. He's not. So.
We gotta get a t-shirt.
I'm thinking of the tree that's like 10 foot left. There's like 10, 12 feet of it, the trunk that's still there. Once I cut off the branches, is to drill holes in it so that an owl could move into it. Because they like dead wood, right? Owls and
some. Making an owl house?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna talk with my wife. I just talk to my wife to see how she feels about it. If she thinks that I could, she'll say, well, how do you make a hole in a tree? It's like, well, you start it, and then nature will finish, right? You start it.
Does the story get better?
No.
It's not supposed to. It's supposed to get longer.
Oh.
It's like your penis. It doesn't get better. It's supposed to get longer. It may not, but we'll see.
Okay. Less filling. Tastes great. No. Less filling. Less filling.
That would be like a really good commercial for
Stephen's cock.
I was gonna say for a lube, for like a low calorie lube. Less
I
filling
thought for
tastes
Stephen's
great.
cock, it doesn't taste great, but it's
Or
less filling.
edible underwear, diet edible underwear, low calorie edible underwear. Less filling tastes great.
Whoever came up with edible underwear, I mean, Jesus, it wasn't.
I don't think Jesus did, because
I feel like it was somebody like Ron who was like, I'm really tired of just stealing and smelling them. I want them inside me. And the doctor's like, you have to quit putting silk underwear in your body. And he's like, well, I'll figure something out. Thus, the edible underwear were created.
So tomorrow, would you like to know about tomorrow or not? You don't care about tomorrow.
What's my theory?
Tomorrow,
sure.
Friday? Tomorrow's Friday?
Tomorrow's Friday. Friday, May 2nd. And no wars were ended on May 2nd. So take a break from the war ending stuff.
Well, go ahead.
What?
Go ahead, man. Tell us about tomorrow.
You want to right here, interrupt this. Justin C. Russell, who's a comedian, I don't know where he's from, but
and he's not going to show. Fuck him.
I think we might get a double no-show tomorrow. Stephen Mays, who is a black guy who was a comedian in Texas, which I gotta think that's a hard thing to do because you're just in the most redneck. Notice the foul mouth teacher doesn't come around because he hates to be saying that. It's just like the cool.
I thought she got a life.
Yeah.
爸爸，惩罚我。
请罚我。
I'm on Bill Rhodes' shit list, and it doesn't take much because he's from Texas, so he just probably thinks I'm a radical leftist, liberal, woke motherfucker or whatever, just because I'm a decent person. But so Stephen Mays, a black comedian in Texas, that's got to be like the word. Oh, you might as well be like a black comedian in Alabama then. Like you're just gonna just get all these.
I think there are pockets of Texas. It also depends on the type of black comedian you are.
There's also pockets in Alabama that it would work too.
Yeah, because I be honest, I've heard this a lot about my humor not being funny to black people, which it's only other black comedians that say it. It's not the audience. Black audiences laugh at me as well. I find black audiences think I'm funny. It's just black comedians think fuck them. I don't get these niggas anyway.
Fuck them all.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Ron's going to be here, but with Stephen Mays,
we don't need Ron. We have Daddy Punish Me.
I could have sworn Stephen Mays had been on the program before. I looked it up. He hasn't. He might have been a no-show. I don't know. I'm in an.
Do you have a list of people who applied and just are no-shows as opposed to people who are on the show?
Yeah, 3,000 emails. No, I delete them. So, I mean, if it was, it would be 5 or 6 years ago. And so, 3,000 interviews, 3,000 conversations. I can't remember all these fucking people. Every day I see memories on Facebook of shows I did 5 years ago, and I don't even remember.
Matt, you lazy fuck with a no-can-do attitude. You can't. I can't remember 3,000 interviews. I can't remember 3,000 emails. I can't. You are such a sad excuse for a senior citizen.
I am sad. I don't know of an excuse. I don't have an excuse. I don't know if you know this about me, but I can't be excuseless. I can't even think of a good excuse. My son was really good with excuses.
The reason why most men are rough fuckers.
So, do we know if Ron Kane will be here tomorrow?
No,
I don't know, but I want Daddy to punish me, so I hope he comes back.
爸爸，惩罚我。
爸爸，请罚我. It's Chinese for Daddy punish me.
See, I thought it worked the other way around. I thought you wanted to be the daddy. Isn't that what make them call you daddy?
I get tired sometimes. Sometimes I just want to lay there and take it.
It's like being called Big Papi.
Papi Chulo.
See? And the kids, if they get it wrong, he's like,
so,
I'm a child enthusiast, damn it. I'm a child enthusiast.
Yeah, I'm not a pedo. I'm a child enthusiast.
Dr. Bramante looked like he wanted to kick the shit out of GD, right?
I don't know.
I was looking in the wrong window. I was looking in this window here. That guy.
I don't know what window he was looking at.
Oh, no,
I thought he and I made a love connection.
No, I get it. I wasn't really looking at him. I was looking at me. No wonder I looked like I wanted to kick the shit out of GD. So it was me that looked like that. I apologize again. I'm wrong again. I apologize like a Canadian.
Sorry.
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 You hoses over there. Buzz off to the Great White North. Buzz off hoses. So what do? We just end this here, right? Because
I guess the only thing left to do is to say the phrase that pays.
No, we got to talk about Stephen picking a bass. Are you going to take physical bass lessons with a real person, or are you going to take virtual lessons?
I was
like online,
considering like booking online.
Then you're going to be a metalhead, aren't you?
I'm sorry.
I mean, metalhead, yes, but it not just metal though.
Like what else?
You're
going to be a Swiftie? You're going to learn to play Taylor Swift songs?
No. A lot of the songs that I do like are rock songs, but
now are you learning to play bass so you can play those songs? You're learning to play. What's your motivation? If you were an actor and they say, "Okay, you're going to play bass," you say, "What's my motivation?" What's your motivation?
Just want to learn a new skill, self-improvement.
Why don't you learn comedy?
I see what you did there, you son of a bitch.
Why you gotta insult his parents like that?
Well, gotta blame somebody.
Steven on bass.
On behind the unbearable brightness of the low winter sun.
Is this one of those AI created songs?
Howling in the distance of the darkness yet to come. AI. And the people who are desperately clinging, trying to hold on to the past. But they can hear the angels singing. In the end is coming.
I feel like I need to be doing heroin to this song.
But with God on our side, there is strength to be found.
I think doing heroin to a Christian song is a damn good idea.
Need the call, stand your ground.
All right.
So this another one. Is this another one of your joint cooperations with AI?
Yes, it is.
Is this your AI bastard child?
It's a song I had written several years ago. It's called "Stand Your Ground," but it's kind of making fun of the white supremacists who basically take over this country now, and these MAGA nutcases. But you know, God is on our side. No, God's not on your side. Why would God be on your side? You fucking dirty, rotten bigot motherfuckers. Why would God be on your side? God's not on your side. God is on Steven's side.
But then you're back to your original question, Matt, which you said, how can we talk about God until we define God? So did you define God in the song so that we know that God is on their side?
What if God just doesn't believe in us?
I define God as a country guy who's that rough and gruggly. That guy.
So that God came twice. So in that case, that God probably would be on their side. I know my God would not be on their side. My God would have smoked them. You know, that's the past tense for smiting.
Like rolled them into a big fat.
No, it's smoting. Not like, like past tense for smiting. It's like spat is spit.
Oh, look, Stephen is whispering into the void. What
yeah.
Are there children under your desk?
No. Damn it.
No, Matt, that would be like this. Not like this.
Oh yeah.
No, my brother's here, so he's my ride to work. So
see,
all right. Oh, you're right here. You know that song? You're my ride here.
Yeah, it's a banger.
If you don't know that song, you can't be on my show anymore. So you better know it, and you better get.
Oh my God, GD! Why are you trying to deep throat the wacky wailing inflatable arm flailing tube man? So sad.
Stephen just tried to avoid the issue that we just brought up, that he doesn't know My Ride's Here. And if you don't know that song, you can't be on the show. You have to learn that song before you come back on the show tomorrow.
My Ride's Here?
My Ride's Here.
I got it. Is that by Warren Zevon?
Zevon, you fucking
pig,
scumbag fucking.
He looks like
Zevon.
He has my floppy has erectile dysfunction. He's stuck like that. No, what's that called?
What happens?
What's that? What's that perennial disease where it's bent? Pierogi disease, where it's bent to the PD. What?
You know what? That's what happens to your dick when you.
Welcome to Minucci's. Welcome to
Pierogi's disease, right?
Pierogi's disease.
I can't remember what it's called. Honestly, I can't remember what it's called.
Ava Peron's disease.
Let's see.
Something with a P.
I'm gonna Google bent penis and see what comes up.
You're gonna Google bent penis?
Yeah.
What if you end up
Mannequin pussy?
I don't know what that even says. Mannequin pussy.
I think I want to say it's saying mannequin pussy.
Not a confession.
Vatican confession.
Changed it to curved penis. Peyronie's disease. That's what it's called. Peyronie's. Yeah,
I like pierogies better.
Yeah, pierogies disease. I like that. Yeah, pierogies disease. At Minucci's. You can get pierogies disease at Minucci's.
At Pierogi Fridays, get your dick bent with every order. I miss Ron.
I don't. I moved on. I'm not. I'm really not into missing people. I'm not. I like after a couple of days, it's like okay, and it's nothing. It's nothing negative. It's just the way my brain works.
You also see him in person too. So
no, I don't. I don't see Ron in person as often as you think. It's like people think we work together a lot.
No, like once a week.
No, I used to. That was like back before the York thing got canceled. When I used to see him on Tuesday nights, and he and I were like basically the two comedians that showed up for the open mic, and we kept trying to make it big. And every once in a while, another comedian would show up. It never caught on. Like, I mean, we had an audience, we had a regular audience, but not the comedians. And it's fine by me because I had enough material that I could do like 30, 45 minutes a week, and it'd be a different 35, 45 minutes every week for a year, it seemed like. But but now Ron has his Mr. Tongue, and he has all these other things going on, and he doesn't have time for me. He doesn't even book me. He doesn't book me on his shows, but he doesn't think I'm that kind of funny anyway.
I'm coming for you.
So,
Ron who?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I think it was Ron Ho.
That's what's up.
Wasn't that the guy from Hawaii Five-0, Ron Ho?
Ron Ho. No, that's Don Ho.
No,
Don Ho wasn't on Hawaii Five-0.
Chin Ho.
The Tiny Bubbles guy.
Baba.
So, Stephen, I want you to learn and be prepared to sing a cappella tomorrow. My Ride's Here. That's your
I'll try my best.
惩罚我，爸爸，惩罚我。
All right, and then follow that up with Excitable Boy, and then Lawyers, Guns, and Money. Okay.
Now, Excitable Boy is a pretty fun song. Lawyers, Guns, and Money, I really like that a lot.
Hold on, I'm adding them to the list. Hold on.
They're all Zevon. You don't have to look any further than Zevon.
Hold on, I'm making a playlist called Old Guy Music. All right. What was the other song?
What was My Ride's Here? Excitable Boy, Lawyers, Guns, and Money.
Now, my favorite Warren Zevon song is actually from his Christmas album. It's Werewolves of Bethlehem. Which that's from his Christmas album. It's very good.
All right.
Layers, Guns, and Money?
Lawyers, Guns, and Money. Lawyers, Guns, and Money.
The best Zevon song, and this will probably get my fellow Zevon enthusiasts hating on me. The absolute best Warren Zevon song is The French Inhaler.
Really? Not Thompson the Headless Gunner?
No. Thompson the Headless Gunner is a very good song. But
It is.
The line in French Inhaler, when the lights came lights came on at 2, I caught a glimpse of you, and your face looks like something death brought with him in his suitcase. I like that. Your
It's funny.
face looks.
There was a band called Graham Parker and the Rumor, and I used to listen to them, and I cannot remember any of their songs. Honestly,
Temporary Beauty.
I can't remember. Doesn't ring a bell.
Temporary Beauty. Because baby, you need temporary beauty. It's about makeup. But he's working on an ice sculpture on it. But yeah.
Can't wait to go listen to this old guy music later.
Graham Parker is not old guy music. I think it's dead guy music.
Oh, that's dead guy music? Okay.
Devon music. It's dead guy music. So we're all on dead guy music here. All right, well, let's wrap this shit up because I got to go do stuff. And when I say do stuff, you know what I'm talking about.
Other dudes?
Oh, I got a paint party. Yesterday, I booked my first double paint party. I got to go from one paint party to another.
You did not say no.
I'm a painter. I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm a painter.
Oh, you're a painter? Are you a Peter Puffer?
I would have never predicted that at this point in my life, I'd be a painter.
Well, you're like I said before, you're Knob Ross, and I appreciate it. So
Knob Ross?
Knob Ross.
How about I come over there and fuck you up?
Oh, bring it on.
All right.
Show me some happy little accidents, Daddy.
So we'll be back here tomorrow with a couple of no-show comedians and Ron No-Show Kane might not show. Right.
Sure.
All right. I'm getting out of here. Don't forget to turn on your radio. Have a great day. Bye for now.
Finish inside me. Finish inside me.
If I'm not vaping, I'm raving.